Ba-da-na-na-na-na. Hey, ba-dum-bum-bum. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to Wrestle AM. It is half morning show, half wrestling show, all BS. I am KocoSports. You can find me everywhere at KocoSports. He's a raccoon at SidsLight. SidsLight, anywhere you find it. And welcome back to Wrestle AM. A weekly show, episodic show, a monthly show,
A
podcast when we got time. It's just hard
we make
because
it when we make it.
yeah, he's a raccoon on the other side of the world. I'm a fat human on this side of the world, and sometimes, time zones are a thing. But it feels good to be back.
For those who don't know, Dave and I are literally exactly 12 apart, like exactly on the dot, 12 hours apart.
Yeah.
It is as polar opposite as it can get.
It's hard to meet up with like business deals or charities and all that because they'll be like, oh, let's just talk on the phone and nail this out. Okay, cool. Do you want it 6 a.m. or 7 p.m.? Sir, I work a day and I work a day job and I have a family. Pfft, no heart, no determination, nothing. Hot tooey on you.
These are my windows for you, sir. I don't see the problem.
Yeah. Oh, man. Anyway, welcome to Wrestle AM. It feels good to be back. First topic is CM Punk the devil? Some people think he's a god. Or is he headed back home? Headed home. Yeah. To WWE Survivor Series in Chicago. Yeah. Let's talk about the devil first. A lot of people on the internet are going crazy. I think one person on the internet said, what if CM Punk's the devil? And it exploded. They're like, okay, what if CM Punk's the devil? He worked us all. Woo! Sid, let's tackle this one at a time. Is he the devil?
I think the devil, they kind of put themselves into a spot where they let the devil be a lingering thought for way too long while it was gone. And people's imaginations have run wild, and
that's always the fans' fault.
By the way,
a
disappointment.
Sid, if there's a mystery and you guess and you want something amazing, you're a greedy fucking wrestling fan.
Yeah, it can't possibly be their fault for intentionally obfuscating details just to try and lure people into making absurd hypothetical scenarios up in their mind.
Huge announcement.
No, it's not them.
Yeah,
it's ours.
Hurricane's Cape said it best. It's like sending a kid into a candy shop saying you can have whatever you want and then being mad they ate candy.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Sometimes wrestling logic for like the carnies against normal people shit is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just an excuse for them to be carnies that hasn't died out of the wrestling world.
Here's the thing. We've been heartbroken before and we've high-fived before. And this has potential to be both. This could be one of the situations they unmask. It's CM Punk. It's Vince McMahon. It's the Great Muta. I don't know. You can unmask. It could be anybody. It could even be you. And
I'd lose my shit if it was Vince McMahon.
Dude, I think everyone
There
would.
are two people I would lose it for the most.
All right, go ahead.
Vince McMahon's number 2, just because of how absurd it would be.
It would be absurd.
And super meta too for him also to be the devil. It would be hilarious. It would be, hats off to Vince McMahon for on his way out taking one final wild ass stab at the wrestling world. That would be my thought. The number 1 though, I've mentioned it before. I stand by it. If you find a way to have it be Cardblade, I will pop harder than I've ever popped for anything in wrestling. If you find a way for that to be Cardblade.
Dude, you're the only person. I would giggle because I know you would be happy, but I think the rest of the world would be sad. I think they have potential.
It would be hilarious. It would be the funniest shit ever.
All right. CM Punk, what percentage do you think he's the devil? And would this be the greatest work ever? Tony Khan is a master booker of the century, if you will.
1%.
Really?
Yeah.
That low. See, here's the thing. I don't think I'm as high as everyone else, but I think it would be cool because they worked you, and it'd be like, yeah, but I don't know if CM Punk can have great matches anymore. His
It's
match
not
with
just
Samoa
that.
Joe was pretty good. I don't know. I'm one of those. Give me a second, sir. I'm one of those guys that no matter how good a story is, it has to end in a good match. You were about to say something, sir?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I just don't see myself being excited if it ends with it being CM Punk. It's like, all right, you got me. But my thing is I don't think it I say 1% because I don't see where the payoff is for Punk that makes it worth the negative press and the negative image impact. Even if it turns out to be a work, he basically has been getting dragged through the mud across the board by every company and shit on by fans since it happened. Punk's not a guy who can handle that typically from what I've seen. Like he doesn't seem to handle adversity very well at all from what I've seen. I can't imagine him eating shit unless it's like an arrogant thing of if how stupid will all of you feel when you see it's a work.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't see the payoff being worth it personally. Not only that, but that means Jack Perry has to be in the faction too, right?
Did they get together? I mean, because
Well, I
really,
mean, if you involve Jack Perry as one of the people in the secret this of this super work, you have to be getting Jack Perry some kind of
first off,
rub to make that worth it.
I'd respect the work. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of guys, so why not have Jack Perry as one of them? Because it's one of those things. The con, they point the nose and look at you. The old trick the mark type situation is that like we only actually seen him say "Cry me a river," and Tony Khan say "My life was threatened." We actually
Yeah.
haven't seen anything. They haven't released any tapes. It's all hearsay. Could this be
Mhm.
the biggest work ever?
I mean, I could see it being a work. I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll have a great
We
match.
take we
But
take this guy that's super popular and make him totally unknown for what? What's the end
well,
game?
it's the shock. Yeah, I guess it's more of they tricked you. I think this would be the
But
greatest
for what?
trick. It would
Trick
be
me
an
into something
MJF.
good.
Yeah, it would be an MJF CM Punk feud.
We could have had that without this.
Yeah, but then how would he win Booker of the Century? And also, for the record, I want to know there is a lot of CM Punk loyalists that absolutely love the guy. And he was at one time one of my favorite wrestlers. But I found out something about pro wrestling. I'm an asshole. If you have 5-star matches, I love you. The second you stop having 5-star matches, I'm like, man, fucking.
You're an elitist.
Yeah, dude. I don't even know if I'm elitist. I'm like that guy. You ever watch, the football movies and they have the one general manager and they're like, Okada's my boy.
Yes, the football movie.
Well, they do this in sports a lot, but there's
I
that
know,
one
I'm kidding.
guy and he's like, Okada's my man. I love fucking Okada. Okada gets married a little bit fucking out of shape. All right, dude, we're gonna have to cut you. But I have a 7-year contract. Yeah, dude. You said you loved me. I mean, I loved who you were. Same thing with CM Punk. You're the greatest. Oh, you're not having 5-star matches? I got this fun guy, Will Ospreay. Get the fuck out of here. Get
Yeah,
out
sorry,
of
we
here.
don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, in reality, wrestling with how much talent there is should not be the same guy lingering at the very tippy top forever. Now, it shouldn't.
Yeah. I've been saying this for years. The best wrestler who's the most over should be champion, and that's who you should build around.
That should be your flagship title holder.
Yeah.
Well, the guy who is those things, and then of the group that's the best at those things, the one that's the best at PR and publicity.
That could be a bonus.
Because if you can send him around to be a brand ambassador on talk shows, other shit,
Like
radio
MJF.
shows, etc.
When it comes to AEW,
Yeah,
probably MJF.
yeah, it's just very strong for you as a brand, especially for AEW that's trying to grow and gain fans. That sort of thing I think is way more valuable.
Yeah. And
But I don't know. I could see it turning out to be Punk. I hope it's not.
yeah. I think it's going to be funny because I've been saying this a lot lately, and some of my Japanese friends say this a lot. People that don't have standards, it's going to blow their fucking minds. But I hated him the last 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
But I loved him. It's like, dude, just have standards. Know what you believe in.
Yeah, I can't wait for him to come back and put on 2.5-star bangers.
Jesus. All right. Also, we don't know who the devil is right now. Prediction: who's the devil? You've been you don't lose. I still fucking. There's one comment that fucking makes me laugh every
Cardboard.
time. You don't want to lose your credibility here, kid.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy. I joke about that in my IRL. I joke about
I think
that
it's
in my
Adam
IRL.
Cole. I think for a
Adam
few
Cole?
reasons
Makes
it's
sense.
Adam Cole. For one, when we first saw them doing it, I am 100% convinced that that one guy had a neck brace on under the thing. The picture stills of it, that has to be a neck brace under that fucking outfit for one of the guys, making one of them pretty much guaranteed to be Roddy. One of them from the build and everything seems to be pretty guaranteed to be Wardlow. The leader is the only real mystery, and honestly, he ain't that different from the size of Punk. From Cole, really. And moreover, that they hide his eyes under the mask to help hide his identity, but like Cole has those bright ass blue eyes. You're gonna see his eyes and know it's Cole. You know what I mean? So I feel
Look
like
at
you
those
have
baby
to hide the
moves.
eyes for that reason. But I think it's Cole. I think that's why it stalled so hard right after, is because they brought it out and they were hoping that Cole wouldn't be as injured as he was, I think.
Yeah. And also,
And I
like
think
him not being there when they're making segments at home makes sense too. If it's Cole,
yeah, that too.
yeah. Who would be the
Especially
worst?
since he was. There's another point to it.
I got.
All the Devil cameos, for the most part, have been by video.
Yeah.
So I mean, while he's been away doing things by video, so too has the Devil.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Who do you think?
That said, I don't want it to be Adam Cole.
Who do you want it to be, and who do you think the worst one's gonna be?
Told
Who's the one that's
Hard
so bad that the internet fucking goes, well, fucking, I don't know. I don't know. I just find it weird that we defend corporations.
Jack Perry.
You think Jack Perry's the worst?
I think Jack Perry could argue. Jack Perry has the opportunity. If it was Jack Perry, it is either going to be amazing and totally change its trajectory, or it is going to flop and burn so hard.
Yeah. And I like this a lot, so I don't want it to flop and burn. You know what's
I don't
weird?
either, but that's all. I also don't want it to be Adam Cole because I don't. Adam Cole's never friends with anyone, dude. Can he just really be friends with someone for
No,
once
he betrays
and
everyone.
not be planning to betray them?
He's gonna betray.
Please, one fucking time, man.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna betray though because it secures MJF as a babyface.
CM Punk and the Devil would be a nice shock. There's also rumors of him coming back to Chicago, even though everyone.
Well, who do you think?
Who do I think?
Yeah,
I mean, Big Brain says Adam Cole. But to see pure chaos, my Joker side, I think CM Punk.
wait, I thought of a new worse one.
Okay.
Tony Khan.
I have a huge announcement.
If it reveals that it's Tony Khan, it would be so bad.
It would.
If this is his way to finally having a character persona, is to be the devil and reveal that's his authority figure, the devil, like that, I think would be the worst thing. Yeah, that's my new choice. Tony Khan. If Tony Khan turns out to be the devil, that's the worst. Not because I don't like Tony Khan, just because it would be awful.
I wish I could meet a lot of people online in real life. Because if it was Tony Khan unmasking and people defended that, I would laugh
I'd
at you
want to meet
so
every single
hard.
one
You'd
of
have
them.
to call the cops or you would have to hit me.
I'd
would
want
just
to meet
point
them
and
all
laugh.
just to see how many are missing chromosomes.
All right, so CM Punk, rumors going to Chicago, Survivor Series. I think that would be a huge disappointment. And this is why I think it's a huge disappointment. And a lot of people don't realize this because they're so loyal to, companies. This is the aunt that sucked off 80 dudes. This is the uncle who got drunk and knocked up 2 other women. And they're getting back together. This isn't going to be pretty. And on top of that, how much is CM Punk as a human being? I mean, absolutely means nothing when he shows up in the Middle East.
Honestly,
I will die
of all
laughing.
the things I've heard he could do, I think TNA is the one he should do, but I definitely think I can see him crawling back for Saudi dick money.
Yeah. And my thing is,
I think that was what he called it, right?
I think so. And my thing is like, A, you know, working with other countries I think is very important. B, running your mouth that much and then going back seems weird. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's just weird. I
Not
think
only
him
that,
going to
but
NWA or TNA to be amazing. But that means he would have to take a chance.
he'd have to take a risk.
Yeah, take a risk, Punk.
And not only that, but if it's TNA, he'd have to take the risk that he might have to backseat if they manage to fluke land Ospreay, which I don't think they will.
Dude,
But
Will
if they
Ospreay
fluke landed him, there's no way Punk's the head guy anymore. And I don't know if he could do that.
And I don't always agree with Booker T, but it's been weird when I see 2 or 3 quotes. I'm like, damn, I kind of agree with Booker T. Shit's hitting the fan. Booker T brings up a great point that a lot of people don't realize. And people are going to think this is an insult, and it's not. It is very easy to wrestle in WWE compared to the smaller venues. The bigger the venue, the less you have to work. And it's the less that people see stuff. Like, if you're in I know it sounds weird.
Oh yeah, because they can't see the fuck ups this much.
Yeah. If you're in Madison Square Garden or a big ass arena, the Tokyo Dome, and you fuck up, not many people in the live audience will notice this. Don't believe me? Look at Okada. Who does Okada wrestle? And he was fighting one of the fucking guys, and it was like tapping his belly. But
I don't remember.
The smaller the arena, the more you see the fuck ups. Yeah. And he's up there in age. So him in the Impact Zone is going to be a lot different than him in the Chicago United Center. So it's an interesting situation. But CM Punk, wherever you go, hopefully you bounce back from one devil to another. That's right. I'm a reporter. Transition. I'm not a reporter. That's probably the best transition we've ever had. TKO. TK.
You ruined it.
I did. I was patting myself on the back, Barry Horowitz style. Take 2. I know your ass ain't gonna edit it out.
No, the edits would take away the purity of it.
TKO group lists Vince McMahon as risk factor for company over misconduct allegations. Who didn't see this coming? Everyone? Oh my God. So basically, portion of WWE's, this is from WWE's SEC filing. I'm reading this off tpw.net. No affiliation whatsoever. The special committee of independent members of WWE's board of directors investigation into allegations of misconduct by Mr. McMahon. And any further allegations investigations may have an adverse financial and operational impact on our business performance. Oh man, remember when Vince McMahon had his evil mustache and the TKO guy was like, "That don't worry, man. We don't fire anyone. We got you for life." TKO.
He bought that hook, line, and sinker.
All right, there's 2 parts of me. Let's get the positive way out of the way because I've been getting a lot of messages lately. Am I an intimidating person? Do I look angry? I don't fucking get it because I'm not that angry of a person. And I don't think I'm that intimidated. But, all right, the nice side of Koco, that fucking sucks. He got his family business. He built up something special, and he's obviously obsessed with it. Being obsessed with your own business, all that. So that's the sad part. It's like, man, this guy's obsessed with this, and he given his whole fucking life into this thing, and he might be losing it. That's like the nice part of me. The evil part of me, there's no way TKO lets him go and doesn't say good luck in your future endeavors.
I hope they do.
What if they fire him and he unmasks as the devil? He's like, I'm taking AEW. All right.
It'd be funny.
What's that?
Still, they would be funny but wild.
Yeah.
I just think my question is with this topic. Do you think Tony Khan commented this time, or do you think this is the first time that Vince McMahon's allegations and negative how to put it, the negative aura he's got, so to speak, do you think this is the first time he did not comment on it now that he owns Ric Flair?
I'm just saying there's a possibility that he wants Vince to fucking run shit because he wants to run back to soccer. He's like, dude, if Vince gets fired, he runs AEW, and I'm fucking out of here. Because here's the thing.
Nah, Vince spins off with Shane. They reunite. The Mac Attack show. It's just them booking a wrestling show together.
Because I honestly think Tony Khan would pay him just so he can go back to his real businesses.
I don't think Tony Khan would pay him.
I think he
I
would.
think he would pay someone though.
It's like he
I
unmasked.
think he would
I'm
pay
the
Paul
devil.
Heyman.
Yeah, yeah. So
I think if Regal had stayed, he would have paid Regal.
yeah. But yeah, Vince. Just who was the raccoon and the homeless guy with a beard that said TKO's probably gonna fuck him? Because here's the thing: when a giant corporation guy was like, "We're good friends," and of course we're not gonna fire him. Vince is gonna be here for the rest of his life. Of course, dude. Listen. Who sold companies? Who has bought companies? Who has worked in legit business? That right there is like a red flag. Like,
Bro,
what?
I just have to ask, did he even look in at all to see how many owners slash CEOs survive this sort of a thing?
No.
It's like none. They're all gone. None of them make it.
I think he just was like, I got back into power. Because, like, you got to think about it. If he didn't get in trouble, there's no way he goes to TKO
Oh yeah, for sure. I think this was his desperate way
to
to
get
get
back in.
back in power, and he probably knew this was a likely or even a possible and likely outcome, I would guess. But he was probably also arrogant enough that he thought he could get away with it, and probably addicted enough to his job that he didn't want to risk not getting away with it.
Yeah, yeah. It's an interesting situation. We'll keep it noted. Can we confirm right now on Wrestle AM that Vince McMahon is the devil? No, no. It's
He might
weird.
be.
I don't know about you. You've been self-employed before. I think you've ran business before. I don't know about you, but like I actually get really sad when I see someone put all their effort into a business and fail. Like
It is because
it's
you know how much passion goes into it.
yeah,
You know it's not like a get rich quick thing or something like that. Usually, it's just pure passion and love that went into it at some point. That now there's some part of them that's honestly, for lack of a better word, they're grieving.
yeah, yeah. So TKO, Vince McMahon, maybe they'll work stuff out, but also they could be working us, brother. It could be we're gonna say
No
this.
way, no shot.
Yeah, there's no shot. I was just trying to put a spin on it.
No, there's no. I'm not letting you spin. There's no shot, bro.
I was
They're
just
not
trying to get
making
old
those
Vince McMahon
statements
back
that
in his
their
power.
stockholders can see if they don't want those statements made. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like those are statements you don't make unless you want them heard.
Yeah, yeah. That Vince McMahon first gets beat up by Fox, and now this.
Right? He's not having a good week.
No, no, no. Vince, good luck, sir. Good luck. All right, next segment. Bam! Someone else that needs a lot of luck. NWA.
Cocaine. Oh yeah, it is. I was right. Cocaine. Boom, 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 boom.
So I guess NWA had an event. It might have been a pay-per-view, and they had a TV deal with CW. They did a segment where they did the cocaine. I don't even know. Are you allowed to say cocaine on YouTube on podcast?
Yeah, why wouldn't you be able to say it? We're not doing it.
I don't know, man. There's so many fucking rules. It's
Welcome
insane.
to NWA. Wild side.
As someone that used to run a wrestling business where there was cocaine everywhere, alleged cocaine wrestling.
If there were ever a time to be on your P's and Q's, though.
I don't like. So, here's the thing. Maybe it's fake cocaine. Maybe it's not fake cocaine. But what? Why? I know that, but like, it would
Why?
be different if it was ECW. It would be different if it was XPW. It'd be different if it was IPW. Hell, dude, it would be even different if it was our beloved ACW. I'd be like, oh yeah, dude, it's adult entertainment. But NWA kinda isn't that product. It's not that
only
product
that,
to be edgy.
but NWA should have been super grateful to even be getting on anywhere near like CW. Even though CW is transitioning their whole style and everything, they're lucky to be getting on any sort of channel with real brand recognition right now.
Yeah.
and to have not been immediately like, okay, until this is signed, inked, and finalized, we need to be fucking on our toes. Everything needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
The fact that didn't happen is crazy to me. And from what I've heard or read, Billy Corgan seems very arrogant about the whole thing.
He's like, we're going to do it. Here's the thing: CW is losing DC Comics, and they're trying to fill it up with sports. I interned at CW when I was a young kid, and it's a rough channel, but maybe they've improved in the last 20, 30 years. But it's just one of those things. You're the NWA, like you have to know what you are on what channel you're on. It just
Yeah,
seems
but
like did he? Because here's the thing: I don't think he's thrown him under the bus either. I think he's, because like here's the thing: if he went on his own, did cocaine, and be like, "Look at me, I'm the devil man," and then he'd be like, "Fuck you, you're fired. We're not ruining our TV deal. We're sorry, CW."
yeah,
But it doesn't seem like he's going that route at all.
no. It seems more like he's taking the route of it's my company. Don't question me. Run your own companies. But I mean, are we really shocked that the decision to have Cocaine Spot while working on such a big deal for them came from the same brilliant mind that watched Titus running the Tyrus? Fuck, why is my brain not working?
I don't know.
Tyrus, right?
Tyrus.
Tyrus.
I'm gonna say it's Tyrus. Now, you said it so many times, I believe it's Tyrus. The
I gotta Google
Funkalicious. The Funka Dinosaur.
it. Yeah, it is Tyrus. Okay, I was right. Okay, but he watched Tyrus running the rope week after week and made him a champion. The brilliant booking mind that made that choice made this same choice. I'm not shocked. He's a moron.
He's like,
Billy, if you hear this, you are a awful booker. Your NWA. If he'd owned his own company and it wasn't NWA, his company would be dead already. He's riding off the fucking legacy of NWA.
yes and no. I think he's riding off the legacy of NWA, and he's using that pumpkin money, and he's doing it kind of cheap. So he's doing NWA. He's living off that. He's living off his pumpkin money, and on top of that, it's not like the events are that expensive. Like he's high level indie. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
It's not national TV type product. It's high level indie, which works with the NWA name. All you have
And
to
with
do,
cocaine spots when you don't have a TV deal.
yeah, all you have to do is not do cocaine. What bad could happen out of that? NXT next segment. NXT signs with the CW. First, Fox says wrestling fans are poor. I'm paraphrasing. Then NWA has a TV deal, and then they do a little bit of cocaine on the air, and then bam, NXT, the CW, 2024, making it happen. And I feel like, is anyone having flashbacks of ECW and TNN?
You know what I think happened actually?
Go ahead.
I think they heard about it, the spot happening, and that they were in hot water. And HBK was like, "I got a plan." And he got in contact with the CW guys, and he's like, "Listen, I understand it. I'm a wrestler, and I used to do cocaine,
But not
but I'm a
anymore.
changed man now. I'm a God fearing man, just like you folk. And I'd never do cocaine, and I want to bring a wholesome product. What do you think of NXT?"
Yeah. Well,
I think he just hustled them.
I think so. Well, the thing is, too, like, it could have been just you. You get a wrestling company, and then you're like, I'm willing to put wrestling on board. And then you do that as soon as there's a TV deal up. Fox says wrestling fans are poor. They need a new home. And then Vince, WWE, TKO, Vince, Triple H, the whole gang will say, Vinnie Mac and the gang, the TKO posse, goes, well, we can get this TV deal while also blocking anyone else from getting a national TV deal. And it's a
Not
win-win.
only that, but I could very much see UFC or TKO also coming in with the leverage of, and based off how this deal goes with us, maybe we look at like deals with UFC products and such in the future, because if you know, everybody knows that CW is trying to expand into sports marketing shit or sports programming. UFC offering like teasing, like they might give them a fight night every once in a while, or they might give them stuff. I think helps add a lot of leverage if you're looking to get into sports.
Yeah, and if you are a network, top 20 CW, it's way more expensive to make Supergirl. It's way more expensive to make Superman. It's way more expensive to make Batgirl. WWE, it might pro wrestling, it might be for the poor, says Fox. But if you're not a top tier channel, it's cheap content so that you can bring in advertisers and all that. So I think this is a big brain by NXT, and NWA really, really missed out. I think now CW says they're going to be on the app. Yeah, they're fucked.
Yeah.
They're fucked. And not only that, but CW is at the thing.
You're on the app competing with NXT now. Like, it is as bad as it could get.
Yeah. And CW is kind of in the same place where Spike was, where TNN was, you know. And they could possibly get a deal if Fox and USA says fuck it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and USA and Fox doesn't benefit with the WWE being there just because of how big they are. And also us being the poors. Raccoon, did you know you're part of the poors?
I had an idea.
You had an idea, but I'm glad Fox made it clear. And,
yeah,
and we're being joke. Let's break this down because sometimes we joke around too much and it don't. If you have 1 million people watching your product, but none of them can afford a BMW, that takes away a lot of advertising dollars. So not only do ratings matter, views matter, and all that stuff, but who's watching? You know, if Oprah Winfrey, The Rock, Bill Gates are the only 3 fuckers that watch your stuff, and then Bezos catches up on the weekend, and you only have those 4 viewers, those 4 viewers are more valuable than 20,000 billion wrestling fans. It's just the way it is. But CW doesn't have what Fox has. CW doesn't have what USA has. So it's a more better fit.
Not only that, but with CW looking to make an entire content transition, having a big brand name like WWE and NXT is much, much more beneficial for them.
Yeah.
And it's like, it screams we're a big deal. You know what I mean? If you're like, oh, we're changing our whole programming style. Now we feature NWA and other sports content. Mm-hmm. That's not as impressive as we're changing our whole content style. Now bringing NXT and other sports content. That sounds way more impressive.
Yeah.
Well, they'd probably say WWE's
They'll
NXT.
definitely say WWE. Yeah. And not only that, but like, we bust balls on stuff, but we also praise stuff. You know, we try not to. We try to be honest, at least honest from our point of view. We try to be the genuine. Oh man, I should have dropped it. We'll try to be genuine, if you will. Throwing a Dusty there. WWE, one of the best things WWE does, it's not wrestling. It's not TV shows. It's not entertainment. It's marketing. They are insanely good at marketing. And if you're the little CW and you're trying to redo your image and your brands, wouldn't you want a partner that's famous for marketing? Any last words?
No, NWA really fumbled really hard, and NXT swooped in and just punished them so much worse for it.
And you know what? The talent, not so happy about it.
Shocked me.
NWA talent reportedly growing frustrated with Billy Corgan over his leadership of NWA.
Shocking.
I'm reading this off tpww.net. No affiliation whatsoever. I just find their blog convenient. I find it convenient. So there you go. And it goes into pretty detail. In a statement to Hausman, EC3 responded claims of making an NWA towards... so EC3 also had claims to this, and he made a giant list. And let me see the last statement. When there's a giant statement, here's the thing, kids. If you ever want to cheat at fucking skipping a bunch of shit, You could just read the last fucking paragraph and decide, oh, is EC3 pro NWA or anti NWA? And you don't have to actually read his stupid fucking list. I've said to the locker room before, I am always available if everyone's, yep, he's pro. He's pro NWA. We're done. He's always there, boys. He's always there. So I think a lot of people are just fed up on NWA. Because you got to think about it. You're sacrificing going to MLW. You're sacrificing AEW, Impact. You're sacrificing a lot to be in this company. And when you're a small company, momentum is everything. Momentum and honesty is everything. And if you see someone and you're like, dude, we're going to go to the fucking next level. And then they're like, oh, we're going to do cocaine. We're going to make this mistake. And what? We're back. You know what I mean? You got to remember, these men are sacrificing to be in NWA. They might get paid, but there's two types of wrestlers that will be in NWA or NWA-like companies. We'll say high independence. There are people that are trying to make their way up, LA Knight, and there are people that are trying to hold on to their fucking career. Those are the type of people. And both of those guys both of those styles of wrestlers feel like they're making a sacrifice for a smaller company to the end goal. So when you go to CW, that's celebrating. Then you do cocaine and you go to the app. That's like, what the fuck's going on here? Because they're probably not getting paid what they're worth. Well, we could say that about any pro wrestler, but they're probably not getting paid. And I'm not that guy. I'm not like, oh, fucking wrestlers are they're saints with little angels and I wish I can fucking lick their nipples. I ain't that fucking guy. But in reality, they're underpaid for what they do. You know? But yeah. Here's the thing. Billy Corgan. Do you think he doubles down with the pumpkin? Or do you think he turns it around? Because EC3 making a list and putting it on the internet, hashtag fucking bitch move if you're like a legit part of the company.
I think he's stubborn. I think he's not going to sway at all.
Yeah. And guys, I know I use this as the Gaijin hotline. Shit, I lost the Gaijin hotline. I'm going to have to use my real hotline number. This is how you fire someone. Hey, listen, it's not really fucking working out. I always quote a little Tupac. I go, I don't want you to starve, but you can't eat at my table. I won't badmouth you. I'd appreciate it if you didn't do the same. And I wish you the best of luck. Here's the rest of your pay. Click. And you don't fucking write a 20-page letter on the fucking internet that I'm there for everyone. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking weirdo.
I also think something that I think is important to note is that another part of why they're probably extra pissed is think about how stoked they were that like you said, a lot of them have been working underpaid, most likely. Yeah. Things like that. They hear that this is a huge announcement for a TV deal for them. Massive for them.
Yeah, it's a huge
They were
victory.
probably ecstatic. And then it got nuked.
Yeah. Because
I imagine they're pissed at everyone involved in that spot and Corgan.
Yeah, because here's the thing. In reality, CW is a big accomplishment. And this ain't a knock on the people that gave me an internship. CW app is fucking worthless. You might as well be on YouTube, Twitch, fucking Kick. You might as well fucking be on anything. What's that?
Most apps are. Most streaming apps. They kind of suck. A lot of them do.
Like, if you ain't one of the big 3 or 4, you're kind of just wasting everyone's fucking time. And even some of the big ones are like, oh, we're going to jack up the price and we're going to cut. Oh, God. Listen, dude, all we need is goddamn cable that comes through our computer and we get everything. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Corgan, you make that happen. So, do you think he can bounce back? I mean, because from what I read, source internet, they're not going to be on television.
I don't think he has the booking capability to do much more. I just don't. I mean, Tyrus was your champion. Like, I have zero faith in his abilities as a booker.
I thought season 1 was pretty good, but I stopped watching after that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
Have you ever watched Tyrus run the ropes?
I did recently because I thought people were just bullying on him. You know, because you know me, I'm very anti-political. Like, I hate politics. Sid will tell you I fucking despise it. So there was a part of me That's like, oh, he's a political guy. They're just picking on him.
I can tell you, I'll tell you this honestly, Coco. I know nothing about his politics. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Ugliest rope runner I've ever seen.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I despise politics, and I 100% agree with you. I thought they were over exaggerating. Because you know, some people like, you don't like my leader, so you're the worst person ever. I thought it was a lot of that. And then I saw it with my own eyes. No. That guy didn't do so hot. And it was weird that, I guess maybe because he could put the belt on television. Maybe he thought that was it, but I have no idea.
I don't know, dude. It was dumb. It
Yeah.
was dumb, and it just shows what a bad booker he is, I think.
Yeah, because like,
and he kept it there. I don't know.
And you could put any title on him, and you could have had a Iron Sheik type title run. You know, you could just, I don't know. There were so many different options that he could have done marketing wise. Because putting a belt on national television or national cable, I apologize. I don't know where he took the belt on television. So for that, I want to tell you, I don't know. But I'm saying cable or national television having a belt on, there is a benefit. But at the end of the day, the people that you went over, the product has to be there. You know, you can't have $1 billion worth of marketing, free advertisement, and then the product fucking sucks. And I think that's the situation he's in.
Or can't you?
I don't know. What product do you think really fucking sucks but has a lot of marketing? Dude, don't say WWE. Don't say WWE.
I don't want to say it because I think it'll hurt people's feelings.
Oh, yeah. KocoSports.
It's TNA.
They don't have much marketing. That was my defense.
And they got even less booking.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't watched enough Impact the last couple months, but I enjoy it. You know. But there is a guy. We're gonna get off topic. There is a guy.
If we're being realistic, based off how AEW's been in recent weeks, in my opinion, honestly, for a while, Impact probably isn't. I mean, TNA is probably not that far off from AEW, if we're being honest.
Yeah, well, hopefully that changes. All right, next, Ric Flair, All Elite. Woo! 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 I went to WrestleMania 24 to see his retirement match. Can I get my money back? Woo! 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 AEW, Ric Flair is All Elite. Sid, I'm going to let you get the lead because I think you have more woo hatred in your heart than I do. So hot tag to you, Sid.
All right. I'm going to preface this with the fact that I was a little Stinger. I've told Koco about this off air. I've talked about the fact that I loved Sting. I've always been a Sting fan. My oldest memory watching wrestling was an old TV and getting super upset because what was his name? What was the voodoo guy's name that cursed his armband?
Wait, say that again? I think
there was a guy that cursed his armband when I was a kid.
Sting?
Yeah.
Papa Shango? I don't know. Is it Kevin Sullivan?
I was so little.
Dude, I don't remember this at all.
Positive.
Are you sure this wasn't a fever dream?
Dude, I don't know. All I remember, I barely remember anything from that era. And I remember as a really little kid seeing Sting get cursed or something and Sting being upset. And then I always remembered Sting's face paint. And then when I grew up, there was WCW Sting, which is like the greatest thing ever.
Crow Sting?
But so I understand the importance of Ric Flair to Sting.
Yes.
I used to love Ric Flair. As a WCW fan, it's hard not to have loved Ric Flair because Ric Flair was that guy. And the Four Horsemen were great.
Yeah.
That said, he made enough mistakes and got caught for enough mistakes that he should not be in the position that he's in to begin with. But moving past that, it's incredibly hypocritical of Tony and makes Tony look like a moron to me. Tony bans Hogan because Hogan's racist. For no reason. I don't even think Hogan was trying to... I mean, Hogan's probably always trying to go everywhere, but I don't think there was like a genuine negotiation or anything happening, or he was lobbying or anything. I think it was just him like, oh no, for a cheap pop, Hogan's banned for being racist. What about Rick? And then, if it's sex stuff, he keeps shitting on Vince all the time. I bet he's quiet right now. But he was doing it as soon as like the week before Ric Flair showed up on on our TVs on AEW. He was doing it. And then he hired Ric Flair. And
Yeah.
there's just so much hypocrisy that it's just ridiculous to me. Ric Flair shouldn't be given this position. He's done enough fucked up things that he should be what is the term? Persona non grata, I believe is the term. He should be untouchable.
Yeah. All right.
And he can't go.
I
God,
you were about to say something before I cut you off, sir?
I was just gonna say it's just that he can't go either. Like, what are you getting for this?
All right. A, he's probably doing it as a favor to Sting. B, Tony is hypocritical, and I love Ric Flair. I want it to be known. As far as the mistakes go in my life, I am very critical, but I have like a rule in my head. I'm a big fan of rules. And I will forgive you 3 times. I think Flair has given up his 3 tries. You know, some people will forgive you no matter what. I'm not that guy. If you have a drug problem or a drinking problem, I'll help you once. You fucking hit rock bottom, I'll help you twice. You do it a 3rd time, like, bro. Good luck with that shit. Good luck with that shit. I don't know if that makes me a bad person, but it's just how I live my life.
No, it's about having a limit. Like, otherwise, at that point, they're just taking advantage.
So I think Flair has passed even nice guy Koco's 3 limits. Plus, AEW, what it was and what it is 2 different things. And if you're not loyal to a logo and a corporation, you kind of have to agree with that. And even if Ric Flair didn't make mistakes, let's say Ric Flair was a saint. Let's say Woo Energy tasted amazing. I never had it. I don't know. Let's just say no mistakes whatsoever. I love Ric Flair. And we are, in this scenario, we are going to erase all the mistakes, okay? I still wouldn't hire him. I would never hire him.
That's my other thing is, even if we're not looking at him as a debatably reprehensible human being, even if we're disregarding that aspect, and we're looking at him just as a 9,000-year-old wrestler, he can't wrestle.
No. And will his ego let him be a manager?
Bumps.
Will his ego let him be a manager?
Oh yeah, I think that. But I think he's not good enough to be a manager anymore. I don't think he's coherent enough. I don't think he's smooth flowing enough. And I think most of what he says is cheap pops of what he used to say.
Yeah. And he also has that edge, I'm offended look on his face when someone cuts an insult at him.
Well, yeah, but he's always kind of done that, you know.
And here's the thing. Let's pick on Tony. Tony, pretty clean cut kid, considering he grew up a millionaire or billionaire, whatever, you know. Out of millionaire and billionaires, he's pretty clean cut. Yeah. But
from what we know,
of course. But I mean, there's other millionaire and billionaires that you're like, holy shit, he could be him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he could be a Paul.
Yeah. But he doesn't have a vision. He's been listening to the wrong critics. I think you only hire. Now I'm saying don't. Now this is gonna be really confusing because the gotcha moments. I gotcha. This is a gotcha moment, so I want you to turn on your ears a little bit stronger, okay? Raccoon, turn on your ears. This is a gotcha moment, but let me just explain it. I think you only hire WWE guys that fits your vision. Tony
I agree.
Has no vision.
I agree also.
And
I think a lot of I don't know if I said it on the podcast or if I just talked about. I think I mentioned it to you off air for sure, though.
Okay, go on.
I think there are a few things with Tony right now. One, I think his women's division was only done because it's expected that he have women's wrestling, and I think it was only pushed as hard as it was initially because A, he wanted Adam Cole, Britt Baker front and center. Adam Cole's around. Britt Baker's not as front and center anymore. Crazy. Now, granted, I didn't want Britt Baker around front and center as much as she was, but the women got more time when she was, sadly. Uh, and it was all her time, but it was more time than they get now. So I don't think he actually wants a women's division, and that, of course, hurts the product, I think. And then on top of that, I think he's a fantasy booker who, for his old childhood, his adolescence was fantasy booking and had tons and tons of ideas built up. And I think he's running out.
Yeah, two things, and I want to get to the next topic, if you will, unless you got something more to say.
I have one last thing.
Okay, go ahead, and I'm going to say two things.
Okay, I think the Ric Flair signing is a very stupid one because I think Tony Khan's doing it to A, kind of make Andrade happy, and B, also to try and use Andrade and Charlotte and Rick to try and get Charlotte over eventually.
Yeah, because Charlotte coming to AEW would fit their vision or what their vision used to be.
However, because she easily takes the Jade spot, right? However, that said, I don't see the incentive for Charlotte to come to AEW.
Oh, no, she's going to be one of the best WWE wrestlers of all time.
Yeah, and moreover than that, honestly, I think at this point he's going to lose Sasha to WWE because she's been out long enough, and I definitely think she's been waiting since then to see how WWE and AEW pan out. And since then, AEW has been dog shit, and her best friends have been doing good in WWE.
Yeah, and also too, you got to put Stardom on the table in this conversation.
Yeah. But I think if I'm just speaking on the Tony aspect and the hiring of Rick, I think he's lost the aspect. I think Sasha is someone that he's lost, and with that in mind, the idea that he would hire Ric Flair as part of a push to get Charlotte is just so.
It's too big of a grab.
Thinking and stupid.
Yeah, because like Charlotte fits the original vision of AEW, but it's gonna be hard for Charlotte to leave. They're booking her as the female John Cena, except she has talent. So, just one thing about the women's division. And this might be unpopular, but I kind of want to throw it out there. I love good women's wrestling. I don't love women's wrestling for the sake of fucking, look at me, I'm a good guy. I'm not that guy. I like good women's wrestling. When it comes to AEW and women, either have good women's wrestling or don't. I think I would rather have no women's wrestling than bad women's wrestling. And I don't know if that makes me a jerk. I don't know if that makes me a nature boy.
No, I agree. I'd rather you not have it and let the women have careers where they can actually shine than you have it and don't use them and just have them sitting in the back the whole time.
And earlier you mentioned fantasy booking, and we got this question a lot. So, who do you think has had the best title run out of these men? You have MJF, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Sonata. Okay. But basically, I think out of the big three.
Sonata?
What's that?
You actually included Sonata?
No, some people did, some people didn't. I just thought I'd throw him in there and like follow.
You left out one other one.
Who's that? Keno's just happened.
You know who?
Walter?
No, you know who?
I don't know who. I'm a little confused.
Bruno.
Who?
Bruno.
Oh my God, this guy with Bruno. For the record, please, if you're watching this on YouTube or anywhere, check out the video. I made that thumbnail, and he just wanted to put Bruno there. And I thought he would let it go. I thought he'd be a fucking professional and not bring up Bruno on it.
I've been thinking about Bruno for an hour.
You're like, hey.
I've been waiting. Bruno's time's come.
Because there wasn't a picture with all three of these guys. So there was like MJF and Seth, MJF and Roman. Mm-hmm. But I was like, can we get all three? And I was like, fuck it. And he's like, dude, just put up Bruno. I'm like, dude, first off, who's going to fucking know Bruno except us old heads? Do you think young wrestler fans know who Bruno is? I mean, he's in 2K, right?
I don't think so. I don't think if they see a picture of Bruno, they know who he is.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
I think I could post it to Reddit as like old school cool is like my grandpa holding up a championship he won for a small indie fed. back in the 60s or back in the 80s or whatever, and just put that picture of him holding the belt off to the side that I sent you, and I think a good chunk of people would be like, that, yeah, that tracks. That looks like some cool old guy with a belt.
All right. If you're under 28, I want to know, do you know who Bruno is? That's what I want.
Outside of WWE mentioning that his record's going to be broken.
Yeah. We don't talk about Bruno, baby. I have kids.
But of the three real people,
Yeah. Because I think Sonata's run has been rough. I think Keno you can't count. All Japan just switched titles with Nakajima. Impact has switched titles recently. So we're talking long title runs. Who had the best title run? All right, go ahead.
I think from a business perspective,
all right, let's
if
go
we're
business
looking
first.
at it as the whole thing, how much it did for their brand, for people involved, etc., I think it's undeniable that Roman has had the most impactful reign. He has elevated multiple other acts to higher levels through it. The calling himself the Island of Relevance is hilariously on brand because it actually is true. Everybody got elevated by it pretty much. Nobody from the major recurring roles in that really got burnt by it. It elevated a shit ton of people. It made the Usos viable solo stars to people. It brought Solo in and instantly made Solo's feuding with John Cena, part-timer John Cena, mind you, but John Cena as a guy who's been in the WWE for hardly any time. You know what I mean? That's pretty big, in terms of like where you are in kayfabe believability, like where they've built you up with the audience. For him to be a believable opponent for John Cena means they built him up really, really well. So I think it's hard to not say that the bloodline was and Roman's reign was massive, because the bloodline is Roman's reign to me. Without his reign, the bloodline's instantly gone.
Yeah.
And without the bloodline, his reign is nothing. So I think it's too intrinsically tied to not include it. And it's undeniable that he elevated the WWE and wrestling in a big way.
Yeah. I can agree with that. And on top of that, I just want to add one more thing that you didn't mention. He was lost in the sauce before all that happened. There was a time that, that Roman Reigns looked like a complete bust. And
oh yeah, they tried so hard to get him over for so long.
Yeah, they tried to make him the next John Cena, and outside of member berries and propaganda, people didn't want that. And then he became more like he's not The Rock now, but in the beginning, turning heel, he followed in The Rock's footsteps instead of John Cena's, which I think for WWE it was genius. For him, it was life-changing.
I don't think it was just the heel turn. I think it's worth mentioning that part of what helped him change fans' perception was also the totally honest kayfabe breaking moment, the "I'm Joe," and I have leukemia thing.
Yeah.
I think that because it humanized him for people, and he wasn't the Roman Reigns character anymore. He was now he was an athlete who performed something that we love. Even if he wasn't our favorite, he's one of the guys who's out there putting his everything into an art form that we love as fans. And we were seeing that behind that character that we don't really care for was this guy that was going through something we wouldn't wish on our worst enemies.
Yeah.
And I think that did a lot to make people more open to giving him a better chance to rebuild himself, if that makes sense. When he came back, people wanted him to do well, not because they liked Roman Reigns, the character, but because, like, even Sparks and stuff, you wanted Roman to do well because you wanted Joe to do well, because that was, maybe I'm biased, because Positive Petey, back in the day, I was Mr. Roman Reigns from the start.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
I was Mr. Roman Reigns day one.
Can I give you your flowers, your props here for a second?
Sure.
I think you might have been the only person I knew online and in real life that had Roman's back from the beginning. you were day one-ish.
Dude,
You
I
are.
was on his shit forever. I've
Yeah,
always
yeah.
thought he was great.
Uh, I got to meet him in FCW, and he's a kind kid, but I never thought he should have been in the Shield. And sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're wrong.
I do love though that all three Shield guys went off to massive things.
Yeah,
However, that said, while I do think Roman's reign is the most impactful and by that metric the best, my favorite is MJF's. But I think MJF is a once in a lifetime. He is like one of those great talents that can do kind of everything. And I love that he's done singing shit, he's done serious shit, he's done comedy shit now. He's done everything in this reign. And I think you have to give him a lot of credit for the fact that he came in as basically a nobody and has been the star stud main guy for this company for them to keep the belt on for a while. And how fitting is it that he just broke Kenny's reign? That the only guy other than him that was trusted with the belt for that long, the only guys that were trusted with the belt for a really long time in general were Kenny Omega and John Moxley. Mostly Kenny. I
yeah.
think it's just AEW's legacy was really good, and them being able to go from Kenny to a guy like MGF for their next really, really long reign really makes the belt look good.
And I feel
And
like,
by proxy, the brand.
90% of all AEW storylines go through him.
Yeah, which I do think is good because he's the champ.
Yeah, I just wish
That
he had
said,
the
I
title.
do wish they did more storylines outside of MJF because there are other wrestlers on their roster. But I do love MJF.
And what about Mr. Seth Rollins? I'll let you speak your piece, and then I'll give mine.
I I don't think people are going to like this.
Oh no.
I think Seth Rollins' reign is the biggest crock of shit. I don't. I wanted to include Rome, just so you guys know. This was originally going to be Seth versus MJF, and I was like, no, we got to include Roman or something because I knew I was going to just shit on Seth Rollins instantly. I'm gonna tell you, Roman. I hate this title reign so much. We were presented another belt in a world where there's this undisputed dude who carries two fucking championships. We were given a third one, and we were told this was going to be different. And then you did the same thing, but you made it worse. You made it worse because not only is he now doing the same thing of just a long reign with the belt, but no. He's supposed to be your work rate guy, right? Cool, fine. He's going to put on good matches, but I don't believe him. They're all going to be wins. You're going to ruin everything we love. You're going to take out all the things I love. You're going to look at all the things I love from Japan. You're going to pull them all out of the toy box. You're going to let me play with them again. You're going to make me think that I can love them again. You're going to trot them around like they matter. And then you're going to crush them. And then I'm going to be like, oh, they're getting a rematch. Maybe they, even though they would have been better to give them the first match, maybe they want to give them the second match. No, you shit on it again. Finn has a 7-year tattoo. Fuck the Seth Rollins reign.
It is true. This segment was brought to us by someone on social media. I apologize. I can't think of your name right now, but thank you. And people were asking, who do you think is better, Seth or MJF? And he's like, dude, we got to throw Roman in there. We got to throw Roman in there. As far as me, I think me personally, as a fan, I've enjoyed MJF's reign longer. I think sports entertainment wise, like just marketing, entertainment, turning around the company, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
But I think total package, MJF. And I think because I mean, they're all sports entertainers, and they all can hold their own with their style of wrestling. But I think MJF is better in the ring. I think Roman is better at entertainment, but it's way closer than a lot of fans think it is.
I agree.
But I think Seth Rollins is a little more sports entertaining than MJF, maybe, especially WWE style. And he's a better wrestler than Roman by a little bit. I think it's close. But like you said, the title's worthless, and him winning all the time just makes him Roman Reigns Jr.
Yeah, he's just shitty Roman Reigns, dude. At least Roman, we can be like, he's using all those other bastards. He's taking 60 minutes to do it. He's using an army. These guys are having to survive the... Not Seth. Seth's just taking out all the things we love, making us think they're good, and then beating them.
I should see if I have an X and put it above. Do I? Oh, wait, I got Sheamus. Here you go. I'll put Sheamus. I just put Sheamus over Seth for the graphic. Good. There you go. It's not going to stay there forever, but just throw Sheamus there. Throw a little Sheamus. Seth is doing amazing things, but at the same time, the stuff he's doing makes no sense.
Ugh, it's disgusting.
We'd like to hear your opinion. Hit me up on the Twitter machine at KocoSports or leave a comment on the YouTube machine.
And if you're a Seth Rollins fan, tell us why you're wrong.
Here's the thing. If you say Seth and Roman, I feel like AEW guys...
You just don't watch AEW.
Yeah, I just think... No. I just think you... Like, hear me out. I think Seth... Like, if you like AEW, they'll shit on Seth. But I think there's so much corporation love that if you like Roman and you think Roman's better, you won't bash Seth.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. It's not Seth's fault that his belt is worthless, and it's not... I could be wrong. It should... I think... I'm not back there. He might have all the politics in the world. I think it's not his fault that...
But it could be.
He's going over. It could be, but it could not be. And the belt being worthless is definitely not his fault. I mean, I can't see.
Yeah, I don't think they're his fault at all. But I can't remove his part, and I can't weigh his reign without including the fact that his reign has just been shitting on people I love, mostly from Japan.
Yeah. It's like, Roman Reigns is like, listen, I'm not gonna.
Which I didn't even realize until I had started ranting earlier. That he's just been destroying things I love from Japan the most.
He's like, dude, fuck that going.
I think that made it worse for me. It made it hurt more.
But maybe Roman doesn't want to come to Japan, and then they're building up to a feud for a Bima. Maybe I don't know.
I think it's that Seth does want to wrestle guys that he can put on good matches with, and it's just unfortunate because I think they think this title needs to have a long first reign to start to establish it as a valuable title, and I just think it sucks that that's coming at the expense of basically the last time I'm gonna believe in a lot of these guys.
Well, and all that, but you already have.
You're never convincing me to believe in Finn again. I'm sorry. I love you, Finn. Fergal, you're great. I'm never believing you in WWE again.
And with that said, too, what makes Seth's run a little bit more worthless is Walter. Gunther has been doing it. So why do you need to exist?
Yeah, they just all their belts just hold them forever belts.
Well, it's almost like that wouldn't be a problem if you had less belts.
Yeah, if you had less belts. Or some of them moved.
There's a lot of worthless belts, but Seth's is pretty high up there as far as the worthless factor goes.
Oh yeah. He has his own there's only one more worthless world championship title I can think of.
Who's that?
CM Punk's with the X on it.
I forgot about that one. He'll return that when he's the devil. Dude, oh my god.
Oh my god, could you imagine if the devil comes out and just sprays an X on the belt and that's it? It doesn't say anything, just leaves.
Hold on. I wish we had this in the CM Punk segment, so it's not going to make any sense when we cut it up, but it's going to make sense for the full podcast.
No, it is. We're talking about MJF.
All right. The devil is CM Punk, but he premieres in Chicago at Survivor Series.
God, that'd be stupid. Dave, you know that picture you keep on your computer to show people?
What, the Stanley Cup?
Your booking?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't have it on this one. Improve your booking.
You need it right now.
Let me see. I don't think I have it.
Damn shame.
No. Shame. I It's basically just a meme of Paul Heyman, and it says improve your booking. And when we do KocoSports stream, eFed, we do that all the time. All right, so Guys, fight in the comments because it helps the algorithm, but be classy about it. Be like, dear sir, I enjoy the WWE and I like Roman Reigns. Well, pardon me, sir, but I like MJF. Don't roll in a mud and be like, I like Seth Rollins Corporation. Blah. Dude, what if we try to make our comment section the classiest argument place? Be like, dear sir, I believe you're out of line with your way of thinking. That would be awesome.
I support any comments on Wrestle AM.
Yeah.
Any at all.
I don't know. There's this TNA guy that wants TNA to succeed, but he doesn't
Oh,
want
yeah,
people to watch
I've heard
TNA.
of that guy.
That guy's
Oh,
fucking weird.
I thought you meant the Kingpin of New
No,
York.
Kingpin Andy Paps wants people to watch TNA, but there's one guy that's like, and I don't want anyone to watch TNA. I've been watching it for years. I never knew gatekeeping was real. I thought that was just something
That's
stupid.
a weird thing to gatekeep.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
keep this product to myself. Well, you can't get successful if other people don't watch it. He's like, I don't care.
Because you see on Twitter all the time, they're like, oh, we're going to gatekeep. You know what I mean? And you're like, who the fuck would gatekeep? No one would gatekeep, you know?
I didn't gatekeep all you people from Roman Reigns.
Maybe. I don't know.
I accepted you with open arms.
It's just weird. It's just fucking... Because, like, here's the thing. I remember someone going, oh, people in AEW New Japan gatekeep. And I've never met a New Japan or AEW fan that's like, hey, come watch my product. Like, maybe I just hang out with classier people. But there's one guy in the comments that's like...
Yeah, you and classy people. The New Jersey sewer rat who was raised by mafia people on the streets. Hey, hey, hella classy people.
I try my best, damn it.
You wish.
Is this the longest segment ever? It might be.
Maybe.
All right, let's go to the next segment. Bam! We're talking Fave 5. Fave 5, AEW women. Tony Khan says, hey, I like women. The internet says, I want women. And people are like, hell yeah. So we're talking Fave 5 active AEW women's wrestlers. There you go. All right. I got some honorable mentions. Do we save the honorable mentions for later? And like at the end?
I think honorable mentions we go first.
I don't know because
Or do you think it's a spoiler?
one of my honorable mentions kind of a shock. I think we see this list as different.
Okay, we can do honorable mentions at the end though if we want to save them.
Yeah, we'll save it for the end because I think one of my honorable mentions, people are gonna go like, "What the hell, Koco?"
It's Britt Baker.
Second, that's not true. Second, we kind of looked at this differently. You looked at it as the 5 people you would push, and I looked at it as the 5 people that are active best now. Like, an example, I think Thunder Rosa is amazing, but she hasn't been on television. So, like, if it was all-time, maybe Thunder Rosa's there, but now it's like, oh.
Yeah.
So, I'm going with active. That doesn't mean some of these women don't deserve to be on this list. I'm just saying, hey, I've actually seen this woman on television, and I'm rooting for her. There you go. All right. You want to start?
I'll
I'll
start first if you want.
All right. You're number 5.
All right, my number 5. I was real torn on who to put at number 5 out of my group, and ultimately I decided this person just because of how long they've been in AEW. Mariah May is undeniably in my top 5 for AEW women. She is so absurdly talented. If you don't know who Mariah May is, look up some of her matches from Japan. She, on multiple levels. I was telling Koco before the stream, I'm amazed that WWE didn't snatch her up because she fits what they've wanted for so long. She's a super incredible, talented wrestler, and she is drop dead gorgeous. Like, the woman is everything you could want in a woman wrestler to push on a major brand. She is what they all look for. I think she's a star. I think she's going to be huge if they book her correctly, but that's a big if. But Mariah May, that's my number 5. I think she's amazing. I think she is going to do great things, and I think a lot of people are going to be really impressed when they see how good she is.
She's not on my list because she hasn't wrestled in AEW, but she is amazing, and I think WWE didn't get her because they don't know about her. I don't think WWE scouting is that good because they just get athletes and steal people. So I don't think
Which is crazy to me.
I don't think it was underrated. I could be wrong, but that's my reason. I think she's gonna be amazing, and it's great to have a star power. But I didn't put her in my top 5 just because she hasn't had a match in AEW yet. But I see your point. My number 5, and I feel like it's because I love TJPW. Okay, Yuka Sakazaki. I think, but here's the thing: I put her at number 5. I could put her up higher, but I put her up number 5 because I feel like my love for her and TJPW, she hasn't done much in AEW. And I feel like this is going to be a theme. It's like, well, I love her, but she hasn't done much in AEW. That's going to be a theme in this Fave 5, which I hope Tony turns around. But I put Yuka number 5, but there's a part of me is like, is she only number 5 because you watched her in TJPW? Do you follow what I'm saying? But I think she is amazing, has a great gimmick, and is a great wrestler. All right. Next, your number 4.
My number 4. Now, I want to say I do love this wrestler. I think she is so wholesome and awesome and great. I really love her as a wrestler. I think she is great. I love her persona. I love her personality on social medias. I think she is great. I want to clarify that. My top 5, and honestly, my top 7, including the honorable mentions, was a tightly contested thing to me. It's Willow Nightingale, though. I think Willow is so great and so good, and I love Willow, and I want nothing but the best for Willow, and I think Willow should definitely be one of the top group of women that they're trying to utilize. She's so good.
I 100% agree with you. She's not my number 4, but spoiler, look out.
Oh, well, I do want to bring up one other thing.
Go ahead, sir.
Willow Nightingale is also great because, and I'm gonna say this to be clear, Willow Nightingale is a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
She's also a little bit larger as a woman. I think that is good for representation for people. I think it's good if you're trying to book women's wrestling to have women like that. And to be able to have a woman like that who is also beautiful and can also go like she can, you're lucky. Yeah. Willow is a fucking catch in the women's wrestling world. She is a star.
Yeah, and I just want to add something. I agree with everything, but the number one thing that I have is that she's talented. Like, if she was just a bigger woman, like that stuff is important, but they have to back it up in the ring, and she does. Mm-hmm. She does. My number 4 is a little tough because you have to watch her on pay-per-view a lot. It's ROH, but I'm counting it. I got Athena. I think Athena's really, really good. It's just she might be higher on the list if Tony brought her out more. She does wrestle a lot on ROH, but I don't mean to be mean. There's a lot of pro wrestling, and I can't watch it all.
Yeah,
but I
not only that, but it's gating it from a lot of viewers too.
Yeah, so Athena is my number 4. I think she can be a star. I think she has everything, and she has like Nakajima with the men in Japan. She has something that's hard to do in today's pro wrestling worlds. She has intimidation. There's that Mike Tyson factor. There's that Nakajima factor. There's that Fedor factor where you see her and you're like, no, she's tough. And
her facial expressions are so good.
Yeah. So there you go. I want dear Tony, because I know maybe 6 people watch our podcast. Tony and Vince are definitely one of them. Dear Tony, I want to see her more on television. If not even television, pay-per-views. Just get her on something that's not ROH paywall, because it's hard for me to keep paying for all these services. It's hard for me to pay for all these services, and it feels like the ECW version, WWE's ECW. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great.
Yeah. All right. It's your number 3, right, sir?
Yeah, my number 3 is your number 4, Athena. I echo everything you said. I think Athena is absurdly talented. I'm amazed at how little they've utilized her on AEW since getting her. I thought for sure that she was going to be utilized a lot better. I'm amazed they haven't. I think she is freakishly good. I think she is super fun to watch. She has high flying. She has great in ring performance. She's very good. And like you said, she sells the intimidation super well. Her facial expressions, her body language, it's good. Yeah, for a men's example of people who have that kind of like facial expression and body language down and wrestling in the same company, for people who watch AEW and want an example in that company, Samoa Joe.
Oh yeah.
Samoa Joe is like one of the kings of body language and silent fucking intimidation. You don't doubt Samoa Joe's going to kill somebody. And Athena's the same way.
I my number 3, I love this woman. I think she's one of the best kept best kept secrets around the world, and she is insanely awesome, and she does not get the credit she deserves. And I told Bear Friend, if she leaves me, I'm gonna take a shot. You gotta shoot your shot. You know what I mean? Emi Sakura. Emi Sakura
Sakura is great.
is fucking beyond awesome.
She was one that I looked at and I thought about and I was like,
She's got in-ring presence, sports entertainment presence. She has comedy. She has seriousness. She, to me, is the total package. I think if she was more diva-like, I don't want to be insulting, I think she would have been a WWE superstar a long time ago. I think what Tony has done to this division, the fact that the announcers know more than you do, is insulting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the announcers are like, no, guys, she's a fucking legend, and I'm sorry you have to see her like this. That's what pretty much the announcers are like, you know? She is fucking fantastic at everything in pro wrestling, and it makes me angry that if you only watch AEW and North American wrestling, you question what I'm saying.
You have no idea.
Yeah. You question.
Not only that, you have no idea how many of the women wrestlers you might like that were actually trained by her.
Oh yeah, she's insane.
This woman's touch on the women's wrestling has been profound. She is not on my list, but it's largely because I think at her age, the window for them to utilize her properly is too small at this point.
Yeah.
To where I don't think AEW will. However, Emmy is 100% the kind of wrestler they should be trying to secure long-term backstage for helping train women and helping with their women's division. She can train your women. She can help your women get better. She is fan-fucking-tastic. She is a legend that has been wrestling for 30 years? Something like that. She's been wrestling forever, man. She is great. She was an Ice Ribbon. Which if you watch Sukaban at all, you're familiar with a lot of Ice Ribbon talent now. She has been in everything. She is so good. She is so good, and I wish they used her better too.
And for those that know, her not going out to Queen in the UK, that fucking just hurt your soul. Because she loves, like, you know what I mean? There's a video of her crying and people are like, it's fake. No, dude, there's people in Japan that love her that were crying just as fucking much.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big fuck you to Tony from Tony. You know what I mean? Like, and here's the thing. He's supposed to be a smark, right? He's supposed to be this guy that fucking checks the dirt sheets and knows everything about everything. So if you're that guy, you insulted one of the best female wrestlers of all time. If you're not that guy, you're a fucking idiot. So are you stupid or evil? Tony, we expect a response at KocoSports on Twitter.
And to give people an idea who watch AEW, who probably don't know a lot of the Japanese wrestlers she's trained, you've seen a few of them. One of them's on my list actually next. But you've seen Riho. Riho was trained by her. You've seen her. You know Riho. Yeah. You also know the woman that's my number 2 that I was really torn on whether to make her number 1 or number 2, Hikaru Shida.
Mm.
Shida is amazing, and I think Shida. Did I overstep? I felt
No,
like
go ahead.
you were ready for me to segue
No,
to
you
number
are,
two, right?
Go.
Okay,
I'm
I fucked
agreeing.
it up there, right
That's
there,
a
though,
green
didn't I?
noise.
I just butchered it right there.
That's a green noise. Yeah,
Okay,
fucking green
but I
noise.
think I think Sheeta's stupidly good. I think Tony's doing the right thing by having Sheeta in one of his top feuds right now, having her as a champion. I think he could utilize her better, but I think you're on the right page with who you have at the top right now. I don't love how you are doing it right now, but you at least are understanding, in my opinion, who some of the most talented women you have are.
Yeah. Um.
And start letting her cut promos in Japanese, please.
Yeah.
Nakamura has proven that the English crowd, if the WWE crowd, who's not as smart and not as into Japanese wrestling typically as the AEW Smarky crowd is, or at least claims they are, if the WWE crowd could deal with Nakamura and like Nakamura doing Japanese promotions, I promise you AEW can.
Yeah. 100%. And you get some more translators, some jobs.
It gets more translators some jobs, and how many wrestlers does it unlock? Let Takeshita cut his own promos in Japanese, and he's a different animal.
Yeah. My number 2, Willow. Just
Well, okay.
she's, like with Athena, we're talking about intimidation. She's the opposite. She is Dusty Rhodes of women wrestling. You see Willow, you feel good about life, and you're cheering her on.
To add to that, when
God.
I see Willow, I always think Willow like gives me the energy of a great hug, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Willow just gives you that energy of a great hug gives you.
And of course, I don't know Willow. I'm not backstage. I'm not that guy. She gives off the look that she's enjoying it and having the time of her life. And for a face, that's amazing. Now, that might not be the case. I don't know. Maybe she's just a great actor. But when you see a face and they look like they're having the time of their life and they can back it up in the ring, I don't know. I think she is fucking amazing.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? NXT Bailey.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, I could see that.
Remember just that I'm having a great time. I'm fun. When you're watching me, you're getting like the positive feel good, just fun energy, and she could go in the ring. And Willow's the same fucking thing, dude.
All right. Your number 1.
I'm gonna say this before I say my number 1. I think my number 1 is the one you left off your list because I think you think this will be shocking that you left this off.
Mm-hmm.
But as someone who knows you, I don't think it is.
All right, go ahead.
My number 1's Tony Storm.
Yep. My number 1, just get it out of the way, is Sheeta. Tony Storm.
Okay.
Tony Storm's off my list. And here's the thing. Sid, tell me why you love Tony Storm, and then tell people how much I love Tony Storm for how long.
Okay. I love Tony Storm because I think Tony Storm is genuinely one of the best women wrestlers of all time. I think Tony Storm in ring is one of the most amazing, honestly, not even women wrestlers. I think Tony Storm's just one of the best wrestlers in the world. Tony Storm is my female Kenny Omega. She is so good. The fact she's gorgeous on top of it is just a fluke. She could be the most hideous woman in the world. I would say she's great. This woman can wrestle. And I know Koco loves her just the same, which is why I know for a lot of people it'll be a shock she's not on the list. But I also know how much Koco hates her current shit because I kind of don't love it either. It's weird. It's out there. It's such an incredible wrestler that is being squandered on a mediocre asset in a division that's being underbooked and underappreciated.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
A woman that I hope, if she leaves AEW, goes to Stardom.
Yeah. Sheeta's my number 1. She's just doing everything right. She's fucking amazing. We can't put her over enough.
Let her speak in Japanese.
Tony Storm, I've been a fan of for a very fucking long time. And she would have been number 1 any other time. I think she's doing this fucking timeless Timmy fucking bullshit because none of the other women can wrestle, and it's dumbing her down. Now, this list changed. Toni Storm has a banger against Sheeta. It changes. I don't think they're gonna have a
I
banger.
think no matter what, those two
I-
have a banger.
I hope I'm wrong. You know, when you're a negative Nelly, you want to be wrong. I think she's doing this gimmick because she doesn't want to fucking wrestle nobodies anymore, and it protects the rest of the roster. It's kind of like if you have the greatest fucking wrestler of all time and a bunch of bag of shits, how do you put on a show?
Which
You
is
make her a
nuts to
clown.
me because even if we ignore the fact that AEW has a better connection to get Joshi talent than most wrestling companies do right now in the US,
Yeah.
and honestly, a lot of companies in general, because Kenny is pretty well connected with the Joshi community, and Kenny can definitely give you an in with them. Like, if we're being honest, Kenny is why they were all showing up on TV, I'm pretty sure, because Kenny's tight with Joshi. Kenny likes Joshi wrestling. I think you could easily have a banger division of women's wrestling, man. And even if we just go off just the women you have signed right now to your roster, if you just focused on them, you just dedicated, God, give them like 30 minutes of each show and like 15 minutes of your dynamite. Give them basically 15 minutes of every hour you have of programming. Give it to the women to do something with and give them a chance because you have some of the most talented women wrestlers in the world in your company and you're squandering, and you just signed one of the best up and coming ones that there are too. And if you squander her too, it's going to hurt even more.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I know this is going to sound really mean, and I think I said it earlier in the podcast. If not, I definitely said it in conversation. Give the women with talent a chance to shine or get rid of the division.
Agreed.
Half-assing anything is a waste of fucking time. These women deserve better. So there you go. My number one, of course, Britt Baker. I'm just kidding. My number one, Sheeta.
But honorable mentions, though.
Honorable mentions.
How
I got a
many do you have?
couple.
You have 3, right?
Yeah. I have
Alright, you go first,
I have
man.
Toni Storm, and anytime before this timeless stuff, she's number one.
The gimmicks just killed it for you.
Thunder Rosa is fucking beyond amazing, but she hasn't been on television.
Yeah, I agree. Thunder, I think she's in my list of like the 10 women that you could easily book a division with and have one of the most competitive in-ring divisions in the world for women's wrestling.
I don't mean to be controversial, but Nyla Rose, I think if you use her right, she's a star, and they're definitely not using her.
I agree. And I'm going to jump on this because I follow Nyla Rose on Twitter. Nyla Rose on Twitter is fucking hilarious. I don't like most people on Twitter. I don't use Twitter very often.
I try to
open
stay
about
positive on Twitter. I
But
don't like having arguments on Twitter. It's such a shitty way to have an argument on Twitter. Like sometimes I'll see something, I'm like, I disagree with that. But like if it was in a conversation podcast or Twitch stream or a live stream, I think I would have that conversation. But on Twitter, I hate having arguments on Twitter. I just think it's such a bad format to have arguments.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
I will say though on the Nyla thing, maybe I'm wrong here. I think Nyla is the perfect fit to be your Kong, basically.
Like amazing or
So
awesome
to
Kong.
speak. Yeah, like to fit that niche in your women's division. That fucking menace. She can do that
Yeah. And,
easily.
And if you don't mind, I'll tell the last one.
No, go ahead.
It breaks my heart because I don't think we've seen as much potential out of her as we should. And for some reason, Riho. And of course, I hope one day
another
we
one
get
of Emmy's students.
Miyu's fucking amazing. But Riho, I just think in Japan, she just blends in better. And in America, it's just like, I don't know, it just doesn't work. I know it sounds weird, but...
Yeah, I agree. It's the same with like, I don't know. There have been a few women that I think have like touched orbit with AEW that just did not get. For some reason, it just didn't work, and AEW didn't click with them or whatever. And I think Rio and Maki Ito are my biggest like what happened from me. I don't know how I don't know how you let Maki slip away at all.
Well, the thing
And
is,
I don't know how you just don't care about Riho.
yeah, Rio, I just don't think it's working. Maki Ito, I think you can make her like Orange Cassidy and type character. You know what I mean? Like,
Maki could have been a great, fun character for your
yeah,
women's division that could also do hardcore matches and stuff. It like honestly, I'm a huge Maki Ito mark, so I'm biased. I think Maki Ito is like fantastic and one of the best up and comers.
yeah, she is insanely amazing. She knows how to use social media. She's like a social media fucking king, self-marketing
Mm-hmm.
king or queen. Apologize.
Fits that it seems like she's learning from the Long Island Ice Tea man himself.
Yeah. They're working on it together in DDT. So, um,
Now, I do I do have two honorable mentions.
okay.
Uh,
Honorable mention it up.
One, she's definitely in my top 10 list of AEW women for in-ring talent. I know you're not as big a fan of her, but Ruby Soho. I think Ruby Soho is a great in-ring wrestler. I think she's really good. She can put on a good match with pretty much anyone. Is she going to be the star who carries your division? No. Is she 100% capable of being one of your top 10 that helps your division look great all the time? Absolutely. Absolutely. She can go into a match and make a match look good with anyone.
She is shark fin soup. Everyone tells me it's amazing, but when I taste shark fin soup, I say it tastes like nothing.
And
She's
sharks
shark
die
fin
for it.
soup. All right, last
I
one.
don't know. I like her. But I also, to me, she appeals a little bit more because, like, I like the punk side and everything, too. Like, I popped super hard when she had the live entrance.
Yeah.
With Rancid, I popped so hard.
Uh,
And
Golden Star, you and a couple others really love the live music entrances. It adds something special to
I
it.
don't love them all the time, but I think sometimes they're really great.
Hmm.
Sometimes they're amazing. Another instance was like the Nakamura with the violin one the first
It's
time they
so
did it.
good.
That was one of the best entrances of all time.
Yeah.
It's not as good the other times, but that first time was magic. Uh,
Okay.
my other honorable mention, the only other one I have, is Julia Hart. I think Julia Hart, for her age, is fucking good. For how young she is, how fast she's been learning, Julia Hart is very clearly listening to the right people and learning very, very quickly. She is great, and I think Julia Hart has a super promising future.
Yeah. And she has a super bright future. I knock her.
She's still green.
I only thing I knock her on, and this ain't fair. This ain't her fault. I just don't like spooky characters. But
That's fair.
that's not a knock on her. It's just
I don't love spooky characters either, but I feel like she does a great spooky character right now.
yeah,
Her
yeah, yeah.
character at least is good.
And not only that, but she's young, and they got some great talent. So hopefully they turn around because I feel like the talent is there, and
Yeah.
I feel like there's enough fans that say they want it. So find out, put it out there, and
And I
see if they
think
really do.
and I think at the end of this, if you've listened to this, there's no way you should walk away with any doubt in your mind that AEW has the women that they could have a much better women's division.
Yeah,
Much better. It's not the women's fault. The women are not the problem. It's not a lack of talent.
yeah. I mean, some of them are not. There's different levels of the AEW roster.
They have some that suck, yeah.
Yeah. It's not like Stardom.
But they also have some old hands that are stupid good that they don't really use except on ROH or not at all.
Yeah. I feel like I could be wrong, but there's always that one guy on Twitter who puts up the women's matches and the wrestling matches, like how much time do women get, how much in-ring action does everyone get, and I feel like ROH is pretty high on those for women matches, but the problem is it's behind a paywall.
Yeah, it's
And
behind a
it's
paywall. If
at,
you put it up, if they were all on YouTube, I'd watch them.
100%.
I'd be much more likely.
Because the thing is, like, Sid knows this, and this is a little off topic, but hey, it's a podcast. Um, Sid, I hate pirating. I'm just not a pirate guy. I like pirating. I have to be pretty pissed off, and I have to not
Same.
have access to it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I'm not a pirate guy. But there was a time where I called Sid. I was like, dude, I'm paying like $400 in streaming services. Because like because it's $10 here, $10 here, $20 here, And I just had to cancel a bunch. I was like, dude, I don't. A, I know I'm retired, but B, no one should spend that much money on streaming services. And C, there were so many streaming services I didn't even watch. It's like,
Also, I'll point out something else for AEW squandering of their women talent, just
God.
because I think it's relevant. I know it's got taken down by now, but Stardom originally had tweeted out in response to an SRS comment, pointing out that AEW has never sent a single wrestler to Stardom.
That's insane. That
Not
is
one time
fucking
has AEW
bonkers.
sent a single wrestler to Stardom.
They did
With
to
all these great
TJPW.
women talent, not one to Stardom. That's wild.
Yeah. So hopefully
Especially
they change
when
that.
you poach talent from it. Well, not poach, but you know what I mean. Like, you've taken some great talent from Stardom.
Yeah. And then you got Miyu and TJPW. Please look out for her. She's gonna be fucking amazing for ones that haven't seen her yet. All right. That's it. Next. Buy or... Oh, no. Not buy or sell. Not so fast,
No.
my fellow friends.
RoboCop versus Terminator.
Next week. This week, will this save Marvel? We're very big comic book nerds, and sometimes we push the podcast back because I'm old and beat up. Sometimes Sid is sick. It's just we miss each other. And when we're not feeling that good and we're not podcasting, we talk about Marvel all the time.
A lot.
Too much.
And what made me go, why don't we? Why? I wish we weren't just doing this. Was this morning we were like, yeah, we don't really feel like doing the podcast right now. Things going on, all that, and we talked about Marvel for 2.5 hours.
Yeah. So, and here's the thing: Wrestle AM. The reason why we call it Wrestle AM is it was half wrestling, half morning show. Half morning show.
All
Talk
BS.
about whatever. All BS. So, will this save Marvel? There's a lot. Here's the thing. There's two different types of people. There's corporate lovers. Some things have it the same. And there's people going, wow, this is bad. I think MCU is in a lot of trouble. And they're panicking. Kang the Conqueror is in trouble, IRL, real life, and fucking had a horrible appearance in Ant-Man. I hate Ant-Man. I fucking hate the new Ant-Man. I fucking despise the new Ant-Man.
I don't acknowledge the new Ant-Man.
It doesn't count.
And in my
fucking-
kayfabe, it doesn't exist.
All right. Fucking Ant-Man. Like, everyone's always complaining about girl power and stuff, but holy shit. Ant-Man was just fucking horrendous. And it's not even girl power. It's just... Fuck. That was a bad... Oh.
I don't want to watch it.
All I remember
I've heard
is...
so much bad shit.
It broke my wife. Because she's like, I don't know, I'm getting tired of the MCU. Because, like, in her eyes, she's like, well, it's just the main characters being replaced by women. I don't need to watch this. You know? And I'm like, oh, well, I mean, can't really fucking argue that. She did like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But, dude, Ant-Man, the Ant-Man fucking trailer, that shit was fucking hyped. I was like, what? Kang the Conqueror? Fuck yeah!
And then you found out that was the only 2 minutes of the movie that were good, and they super spliced them.
Oh yeah. So I remember we watched Ant-Man, and she's had enough. Like we were seeing Sony. We saw the fucking Dracula son of a bitch. I can't think of his name right now. Like I would always go day one, and I just remember looking at my wife, more disappointed than I've ever seen her look in her life, and she looked up at me with puppy dog eyes, going, I thought this was going to be a good one. And that was like, all right, we don't have to see MCU first day anymore. I'm not taking you. I
won't do this to you.
Dude, and she was being genuine. She just looked at me and goes, I thought, because you know what? When you go to see, what's the guy? Morbin Time? When you go to see Morbin Time, you know you're going to see a bad movie. So you're going to...
everybody went both times it opened.
Yeah, so, you know, we giggled. We had a good time. It was bad. But Ant-Man wasn't supposed to be bad. And it was. So there's a lot of problems. But there's internet rumors, source internet. The internet has never been wrong. Not once.
Never.
That it's going to end and, you know, it's going to end in Secret Wars. And the timelines are going to converge. And they're going to get people from all different places. And they're going to have the Wolverine from the X-Men series and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is going to be the lead going into this.
Which is hype.
It got me hyped, but it's also like That's 2 years away.
Yeah, I
what
don't
are we
know
gonna
how
do
they're
till
pulling
then?
this off. That's where I'm at on it. Is like I'm like, one hand, I'm like, ooh, that's awesome. You've made me interested in something I lost all interest in by teasing me with two of my favorite things, Spider-Man and Wolverine. Congratulations. Would you like to add the Hulk?
Hell
But
yeah.
but for me, I was instantly interested. But I have to ask, like, how are you pulling this off? Hugh Jackman wants to be done playing Wolverine. Got pulled back in to do it for the Ryan
Deadpool.
Reynolds Deadpool movie because they're buddy, like they're super good friends and do jokes and shit together. And I guarantee it started as a joke and then like evolved. But he's got him in it. He wants out. You killed Logan. He
Yeah.
wants out, guys.
And he's like,
I don't know how you're bringing him back.
I guess they're just gonna time travel. This is my theory. I feel like, low key's season finale this week. All the shit's gonna merge together. All the universes are gonna merge together. They're gonna have a big fucking battle, also another thing is they want to bring Doctor Doom before the Fantastic Four, which will blow my fucking mind and drive me insane. But
Yeah, I agree. We've mentioned that off air and how stupid we both agree it is. As people who understand the importance of Doctor Doom to the Fantastic Four, it makes no sense at all.
and so basically
It's like having Doc Ock as the main villain with no Spider-Man.
yeah, and they're actually doing this. Craven the Hunter with no Spider-Man. How
Are
the
they really?
fuck they're making a Craven
Who
the
cares
Hunter
about
movie
Craven the Hunter?
without Spider-Man?
I didn't even like Craven the Hunter's episodes of the cartoon.
You shut your fucking mouth, raccoon.
Fuck you, Craven sucks.
Craven the Hunter.
Craven's dog shit.
I love Craven the Hunter, but if Craven the Hunter's not like, it's kind of like,
What is a Craven the Hunter movie without Spider-Man?
I don't know, man. It blows my fucking mind, dude. And here's the thing.
Who's he hunting?
I have no idea who he's hunting.
Generic made-up superheroes and mutants? Is that what it is?
I have no idea. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Craven?
But I'm excited because what I've read online, and granted, guys, this is just us shooting the shit as fans.
Why Craven?
But dude, I love Craven.
I fucking hate Craven.
They're probably going to combine everything, get as much star power as they can, and then go from there and have a soft reboot with the new Fantastic Four.
Which is kind of cool.
I think it's a cool idea, but if you're going to do a soft reboot with the Fantastic Four and we've already seen Doctor Doom in the MCU, I'm going to fucking lose my shit, boys. I'm going to lose my shit.
You can't use Doctor Doom. You've got to come up with something else. Use someone else that you want to throw away.
Well, here's the thing. If Kang the Conqueror, I'm sure he has a real name. Dude, we can't. It's fucking dude. Oh my god, I hate Ant-Man. I hate Ant-Man. If Kang the Conqueror, the actor, is innocent, I just say
problem solved.
Problem solved. But if he's guilty, okay, and fucking sucks, whatever. I don't want to get into the lawsuit of it. But if he's found guilty by a legal team, do you recast
Or if
him?
his press is bad enough that he's got such a negative public persona.
Yeah, we don't want Aquaman 2 over here, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can go to court case and not go to prison and still ruin Aquaman 2.
Well, yeah, but this guy's not dating Elon Musk to threaten to sue people into the ground if they fire his girlfriend.
You never know. He might got the moves.
That's true. Maybe he starts dating him. And he's like, I heard what you did for Amber.
Would you like to make Kang the lover?
I could Kang the Conqueror you.
Oh, man. I hate Ant-Man. But here's my thing. Let's say he's guilty. Horrible person. Goes to prison. Hopefully he's legit guilty. I know we live in a world where, like, I don't know. If we sent someone to prison and ruined them, they should at least have committed a crime. That's me. I don't know. But let's say he does get, found guilty. Do you bring Doctor Doom in? Or do you recast? I'm pro recast.
You don't bring in Doctor Doom at all. You find another villain. You don't bring in Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
You either recast or you find another villain. You do not bring in Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
If you bring in Doctor Doom or Galactus without Fantastic Four, you are a moron. You have fucked up some of the most iconic villains in all of Marvel for no reason.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they get back on track. You know, I feel like AEW and wrestling have the same thing that Marvel does. Because you know there's some
Bad
fan.
booking?
There'll be, no, bad booking. There'll be some fan that goes, well, I don't see anything wrong with this.
I liked Ant-Man.
No
And
one
the
liked
Marvels.
Ant-Man. No one liked Ant-Man. There'll
Yeah,
be
no,
one
this
guy.
guy wearing his Marvel shirt is saying how much he loves Ant-Man.
Oh, man. Yeah. I don't know.
I also
And here's the
I got a
thing.
She-Hulk tattoo after the show.
We always we always talk about this on wrestling, but we could
Did
talk
you
about
know
this on
she
the AM.
saved the Hulk's life?
I know it sounds crazy in the mean world of the internet, but it's okay to be a passionate fan. It's okay. It's okay.
We also have a deep hatred for She-Hulk.
Oh, it's
We bitch about She-Hulk off air a lot.
because here's the thing. She-Hulk's my favorite female character.
And
By
you ruined
far.
her.
By far. It's not fucking, oh my god, you got PP, you hate vagina. Not the case. I
Nope.
love She-Hulk.
She is awesome.
And you fucking ruined her.
You dropped
How
the
do you
ball.
fuck
You
up the
changed
origin
her
story?
origin.
How do
How'd you
fuck
do it?
That's the origin story. Come on.
You had one job. One
Oh.
job.
I am
You got
excited.
him in the right place even.
I am excited though that they are going a little bit darker. They're gonna have their first mature one with Echo, and Kingpin's gonna be back. So I'm kind of interested
That'll
in
be
that.
cool.
Yeah.
And also make the segue for the Punisher and everything.
Yeah, and also they fired everyone on shit,
Okay,
the vampire one.
wait. So if they're going toward the Secret War angle, right?
Yeah, they definitely
With
are.
the
They
goal of, like,
advertised it.
ideally Logan versus Toby, which I don't really understand why they're on opposite sides, but I don't care. I'll watch it because it's fucking Wolverine and Spider-Man. Honestly, you put Spider-Man in it, I'm probably gonna watch
But here's
it.
the thing: I'd rather have the characters fight for their fucking right to party and to exist than fucking have a bunch of CGI fucking worthless characters run around. That's why. Oh, dude, I
agree.
don't want to give spoilers, but fuck you, Ant-Man. Okay, sorry.
Ant-Man.
Fucking Ant-Man. God damn.
He's
fucking
traumatized
piece of
by you,
shit.
Ant-Man.
Oh.
It's the worst, dude. I think it could be really cool, but I am highly skeptical. But there's one thing I was thinking. How cool would it be if, like, if they finally do that Punisher series with Bernthal, and he's just going around just murking Skrulls?
Oh, that wouldn't be bad.
Like, if he's
Could
hunting
save Secret
down,
Invasion.
like, he is secretly hired to be hunting down the Skrulls. He's fighting the invasion of Skrulls on his own. I think that would be the best way to utilize Punisher in this arc.
Yeah, and none of that, but man, Secret Invasion was rough.
Especially because it makes it very easy for them to, again, paint him as the bad guy who's just going after cops and everything or whatever. Paint him as a murderer and all that.
Yeah.
But then in reality, like, you find out, you're like, wait, no. He's been fighting the Skrulls this whole fucking time.
Yeah. Because I got a Spider-Man tattoo. I love Wolverine. But Punisher, who's the guy that got into comic books? To me, it was Punisher. Because I lived on the mean streets of Atlantic City. And I just went, I said, I always said this as a kid. What if we just
No,
killed...
I laughed because I remembered what my first comic was.
Oh, okay. I always said this as a kid. I was like, dude, what if we just killed all these evil bastards? What if we murder them all? And then, like, one of my friends goes, that's what Punisher does. I was like, what? And I read Punisher, and I was like, thank God.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, Punisher was one of my early comics. The Death of Frank Castle story was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But the first comic I ever owned was I went to a comic store and I had never bought comics before, and I was really young, but like they had a box of just like the cheap discount comics that they were selling on sale, and I went to the box and I just looked through it and I picked out stuff that I liked, and one of them was Spawn because I thought Spawn
that's a
looked
good
really
one.
cool. So it was actually Spawn versus Batman. And I had it all the way up until my last move.
Really? That's
Yeah,
so cool.
I had Spawn versus Batman.
I had Hulk
The
versus
other
Thor
one
for a long
was
time.
Bartman.
Bartman? Hell yeah, Bartman.
Yeah, Bartman was one of my first comics.
Dude, I loved Archie Ninja Turtles. It's cheese, but I loved it. Yeah, Bartman
there
was
were
pretty
so many
cool.
good ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I also got Batman versus Spawn pretty early too.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Wait, no, I said that, didn't I?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
did.
did. I'm dumb.
No
Concussions.
Yeah, but yeah, I love comics. And
I hope they don't fuck this up.
Yeah, just be awesome, man. Just be awesome.
I want it to go well. You have to fuck up for me to be unhappy.
Well,
That's the thing.
I think pro wrestling and comic books have something in common. If it's not good, half the fan base says you're assholes, and the other says fuck you, it sucks.
Fuck you, we got content.
Yeah,
Is what half are saying.
but the other, there's moments where everyone high fives.
Yeah.
It's like fuck yeah,
Oh, yeah.
high five, we fucking
High
did
five, baby.
it. Yeah, and I want more high five moments.
Yeah.
I don't want to be yelled at for being a passionate fan that wants something.
You know what I want? I want
want
more
high
moments
fives.
that when my friends are excited about them, I can be like, yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
I'm stoked you got to see that finally. I have loved that since I was a kid. I'm glad you got to see that story.
And this
that's what I want.
Yeah. And I am very I don't know if I have a controversial statement. My creative friends hate this. And I don't know, if you don't respect IP, you're a piece of shit. And if you don't make your own IP, you're not a real creative.
Well, what I always say
And
is,
I work in anime and manga, and people hate that. They're like,
oh yeah, they hate it because it's the fucking truth.
Yeah.
The real reason there are all these alterations of existing characters and et cetera, is because it's a fear to let their own ideas sink or swim. They want to go off. They would rather take Joe Schmo, the superhero that has 57,000 comics, that has been around forever, that they know has a super loyal following and a really big fan base, and they'd rather see how much of that fan base they can keep by changing Joe Schmo to something totally different, but keeping him as the same superhero, but being a totally different person
It's so
as
cowardly.
the character. And they're just hoping to retain enough of that audience to keep it viable while also securing enough of the new audience. But without the balls to do it with their own new idea, they want to just survive out the backs of existing ideas. It's laziness, it's a lack of creativity, and it's a lack of balls. I have no respect.
Respect IP or make your own IP.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. And it is. It is.
And look what happens when you respect IPs, though.
Mario.
You end up with Mario. That was the example in my head, too. You end up with Last of Us. You end up with some great shit out there when you respect the content that was
One Piece and Netflix
by fans for a reason. I still got to watch that, but I never saw One Piece, so I don't know. Like,
no, it's
I don't
weird.
know if I'll like it.
I kid you not. All right, first off, I have to be transparent. I have never worked for One Piece, and I only say that because there's a lot of anime and manga I do work for that I cannot legally tell you I work for them. So, with that out of the way, I have never worked with One Piece.
It's hentai.
No. I would do it. I'd be the asshole that tries to put story to hentai. I'd be like, dude,
No,
what
you'd
the
be
hell?
the guy that wants to voice the women.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
dude.
dear Koco likes this. Oh, yes, dear Koco likes this.
Why would a woman sound like that?
Well, that's your voice acting. I didn't say you were good at it.
Oh, understandable. Understandable.
No, you're right. It would be one. Oh, dear Koco likes this.
I don't even know what the fuck is
Like
going
you're like
All
half
right,
Yoda, half
so,
prostitute.
yeah. I've never worked on One Piece. There are big titles I've worked on, but we're kayfabing that because fucking Japan doesn't want you to know white people worked on their comics. That is a legit statement.
Attack on Titans.
Don't guess, because then I have to fucking deny it or just be quiet. You know,
No, you
fucking
just be quiet no matter what.
there was someone on Twitch, and I said, "Oh, give us a clue," and I gave 2 clues. I was like, "Oh, I worked on this and this and this," and they're like, "So you worked on this, this, and this?" So I stopped playing that game. I was like, "All right, dude,
nice.
before I get fucking sued, I'm gonna stop this." But One Piece, I never made it. I've read the manga, I've watched the anime, and I watched Netflix, and I've never made it to Chopper, and I love it. I love it. People say it gets worse later on.
Now
I don't
your
know. I
fans
never
all
went that
know if
far.
you don't show up to a stream or a podcast is late, it's because this dude's watching a 2,000 episode anime and reading all the manga. I don't know if you even have time for pro wrestling or anything else.
I did think about doing comics, but I feel like media, YouTube and media, podcast media, it's not passionate. It's Wikipedia. It's like this is how people cover it. All right, I'm just going to Google search Spider-Man. So instead of me going, oh, I love fucking Spider-Man, Spider-Man's fucking amazing, this is what they do. Spider-Man is the name of an American comic book published by Marvel Comics and a superhero who appears in a work. It was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko.
Spider-Man is the single greatest superhero ever created.
I do love
and I will fight to the death for that.
Yeah, I got him tattooed on my leg. Tattooed on my leg.
Because he's great. Spider-Man is great.
Listen. Marvel.
Andy has some of the best stories. And I'm going to bring it before you go on this tangent, before I forget. If you guys don't use Black Cat, you're idiots.
100%. 100%. 100%. Bring in Black Cat. Bring in Black Cat. I never agreed with anything more than that. Spider-Man.
One of the most iconic things in Spider-Man.
100%. It's one of the most iconic things that haven't been brought to screen yet.
Honestly, if we're being honest.
Yep.
Just take the animated show and just shot for shot remake it live action.
Spectacular,
Don't change anything about
Spider-Man.
it. The theme, nothing.
Spectacular Spider-Man.
Release him as 20-minute movies every few months. I'll go.
It's like, fuck yeah, we'll make it happen. That's what
Play
Disney
that
Plus
song
really
for
should
30
be.
minutes before, and we'll all do it.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm in. Fucking, I'll buy season pass. No, from the bottom of my heart, pro wrestling and comic books have been a big part of my life. Not Spider-Man, but Marvel in general has saved my life multiple times, and that is a genuine statement. So this is more than just spandex people being rewritten. This is very important to me. So, Spider-Man, Wolverine, save
God,
us.
I can't wait.
I was gonna do a Star Wars reference. Save us, oh.
If they manage to get them both, I have no doubt I will at least enjoy them.
Yeah,
but
but it's
do
sad
not
because
have
like
confidence that they'll
it's
be
a lot
great.
of member-berries because they're talking about bringing back the original Avengers.
Yeah,
It's member-berries throughout the whole thing. So
we talked about it off air. If you're bringing back Logan, if you're bringing back Hugh Jackman to do one movie, give me Wolverine versus Hulk instead. And if you're not going to give me Wolverine versus Hulk, you better find a way to put that into this stupid Secret War shit.
well now because of Paramount source internet, Paramount they had the rights to individual Hulk movies, but if Hulk appeared, they didn't have the rights. But according to internet, that contract's up, so they can have Hulk individual movies now.
It's time for Hulk versus Wolverine, the movie. Shot for shot remake of the comic.
Hell yeah, they're just, dude. Oh my god, the CGI budget would be through the fucking roof.
It would, but it'd be so good.
There's a CGI artist just crying.
No, there's a CGI artist right now counting his bank account that he's planning.
But you think Disney's gonna pay them?
No, but he's dreaming.
Spider-Man, save me! Everybody gets one. Everybody gets one. Everybody gets one.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, we love you more than we should.
Taking stock, buy or sell. All right, I'm gonna give you a little bit of spoiler for AEW because I know you haven't seen AEW Dynamite this week. I have a situation where a person I love is on buy and sell. All right,
Ooh.
so I'm gonna give you a spoiler. Raccoon, are you okay with one spoiler?
Tony Storm?
No. It is
Yeah.
Samoa Joe.
Don't sell Samoa.
No. He's buy and sell. He's on buy and sell. He's on both sides of the fence, and I love Samoa Joe. KocoSports stream, I married him. True story.
True.
Google search.
Still didn't work for us.
He didn't. But all right. So Samoa Joe segment. Raccoon's hearing this for the first time.
Divorced you on Twitter.
So he did. Samoa Joe has the TV title. He's the longest reigning TV title. He gives a speech, and he gives up the title in the ring. And he's like, I'm going to go after the main title. Even though there's double champs everywhere, he says, fuck the TV title and fuck ROH. Now.
Wow. On one hand.
Yeah, that's why it's on buy and sell.
Ah, man.
All right.
On one hand, I like the going after the main title. It's the one that matters thing. On the other hand, you just buried that title.
Now, here's why it's buy and sell. If someone does become the next champion, sell that. It was greedy. It was stupid. It was wrong. But if that title is retired, I'll buy it all day long.
Oh,
I'll buy it
I
all
didn't
day
think
long.
about that.
So
If that's a way for Tony to write off another championship,
I'll buy.
that is a good way to do it.
Yeah. So if there's
Oh man, and that makes it where its final reign was an ROH OG.
yeah. So
If he did that with all the belts and retired them all and condensed ROH into AEW to give ROH like a great final nod to the OGs, that could be really cool.
I agree. So
It would win me over on ROH and how he's handled it
I know that,
immensely.
but like Athena and all those guys could come
Yes.
over and blend in a lot better.
Free
So
Athena.
it's buy or sell. If they retire the belt, this is a fucking huge segment, and I love it. Get rid of titles, fuck you. But if someone is the new TV champ, might be one of the worst segments I've ever fucking seen in my life. So
Wait, there's an exception.
all right,
There's
go on.
one caveat I think you could be okay with.
Go on.
They do a segment on Rampage where it's Danhausen coming out after the lights went out and grabbing the belt out of the ring and taking it. And then Danhausen declares himself the TV champion of ROH.
I would still sell
Because
that.
he's a comedy character.
Nope, sell it. Too many belts.
Fine.
I'm selling
They
it.
do have to.
You get the Paul. I got Paul Heyman. Better booking. We definitely have to. I'll get it for the next podcast so we can shove it in each other's face.
What?
Improve your booking. All right. Do you have a buy or sell? Because I was on both sides of the house.
I agree with yours, honestly, a lot. Honestly, I kind of want to sell Tony Khan's booking in general.
Really? All right.
After talking about the women's, it just really cemented it. I think it's awful. I think he's doing better with Tony and Emmy, right? I mean Tony and Sheeta right now, but he has so many women that he's squandering. He's giving the women so little real time and not building up many of his women or many real stories. Are there stories going? Before someone in the comments tries to say, oh, they've got stories, blah, 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 the mist in blah, blah, blah's eye, she's changing. Blah. They have stories, but they don't have stories that are giving time. The stories that they have are pretty much being told all in ring through the wrestlers' actions and commentary. That is bullshit. That is a great job for the wrestlers in commentary for managing to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. But give them time. They deserve more.
All right. Let's go good. I'm gonna buy Nakajima winning the triple champ in All Japan. And here's the thing: I was really mad when Jake Lee did it, but I'm really happy that he did it. I don't know if that makes me controversial, but I think the situations. That's the rumor. That's the word on the street. I hate Jake Lee, even though I've been on television with Jake Lee multiple times.
Yeah, and he hates you.
He does. I mean, he might hate me. Dude, my favorite part with Jake Lee, I'm going to buy this as my favorite fucking moment. All right, so let's just say I can be an asshole in real life. And I'm sitting there, and it's at Monday Magic. This is one of my favorite fucking moments in Noah history. Live there. Like, if I was a little kid, it's my Bret Hart giving me glasses moment, you know? Mm-hmm. And he's still champ at the time. And I go, Jake Lee! And I'm screaming it. And he knows it's me. And he goes over with his good-looking guy smile going, this fucking guy. Like, I'm like his Bobby the Brain Heenan at this point. And he goes, and he smiles like, what do you want? Like, he thinks I'm cheering for him. And I throw up the fist and scream, Keno. And he fucking broke and died laughing. It's one of my favorite moments ever. I don't know if on Monday Magic it ever got on film because, you know, they zoom in on the wrestlers and not my fat ass. It might be one of my favorite moments ever. I'm buying that moment forever because Jake Lee could not fucking stop laughing. He's like, damn, this fat motherfucker's finally rooting for me. Oh, right, maybe I'm turning this shit around. And I'm like, Jano! And he just died laughing. You know, sometimes, you know, wrestlers, if you actually meet them in person, you can kind of fucking laugh. You don't have to suck them off all the time. Yeah. But yeah,
Um,
Nakajima winning title, huge win. A bit of a hypocritical situation, but at the same time, I made a video on YouTube about it where it's different situations. But maybe all Japan fans feel a little different. All right, go ahead.
I'm also going to be selling the obsession with CM Punk. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I could never hear about CM Punk again and not care.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be behind the curtain. You know they love this. We only put CM Punk as the first segment because we know it will get more traction, and we're trying to tickle the balls of the algorithm. That's why CM Punk was in the first segment.
But I hate CM Punk.
You do. You were against that. I was like, it tickles the balls, and you're like, I fucking know it does, and I hate it. Oh.
I tried to come up with any alternative.
But here's my thing about the CM Punk first segment. Should we call it CM Punk tickle my balls or tickle his balls? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it won't. Who knows? I don't fucking know how YouTube works anymore. I just want to have fun with my friends. That's our tagline. Welcome to KocoSports. I don't know how YouTube works anymore, but I just want to have fun with my friends. I think that's a shoot. I'm gonna sell David Finlay. We're not gonna get a great last Will Ospreay match. He's a carbon copy of a carbon copy, and there's a Japanese joke going around. You fucking foreigners better fly in, because like I don't know if it's true or not, but Japanese hardcore fans blame House of Torture and David Finlay and Bullet Club where they are now, not the original, the carbon copy of the carbon copy of the carbon copy. It could be completely wrong.
The 8th iteration.
Yeah, they blame America for this. So there's a saying now.
Nope.
Wait, there's a saying. You better fly over and watch it. Like it's
Listen,
kind of like
Club
a
should have
threat.
died a long time ago. Gaijins are the only reason it stayed alive.
Yeah. Well, and Ghetto trying to fucking hold
Ghetto
on to
knows it moves merch to Gaijins.
Yeah. But
that's the real reason.
I don't know. Hopefully it'll be a good match. Even what's his name? Fuck. Who's the really good guy in AEW that went to the G1 and cuts great promos?
Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston tweeted out the fucking greatest thing or storied. I don't know. He sent out. It was a picture of him and it says "Local man ruins everything" with the Homer Simpson meme.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, Will Ospreay's last match is going to be a 3-way. Or his last Kingdom match, most likely.
Really?
It's him, Moxley, and David Finlay. Buy your tickets, foreigners.
Just get rid of Finlay.
Exactly.
Why are you including Finlay in what could
because
be a
they want him
match?
they want him to be the next Gaijin Ace.
God, are you telling me he's gonna beat Ospreay and Moxley?
Most likely. And you know how me and my buds here on this island say, foreigners, you better get on that fucking plane. That's the joke. So every time they mess up and do something, they always go, foreigners, you better get on that fucking plane. I even have a couple friends that fucking message me online, be like, yo, dude, tell foreigners to get on that fucking plane. Get on that fucking plane, boys. Get on that fucking plane.
We want Okada to try.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another joke. They beg North Americans to watch so that Okada will try.
Yeah, AEW fans have no idea why people shit on Okada. Anyone who doesn't watch New Japan does not understand why you and I call Okada lazy.
Well, the thing is, too, like, if you only watch the big events, you don't know. But if you watch the World Tag League and the Super Junior, God, you're fucked.
You only watch Wrestle Kingdom? He's the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah, but otherwise,
he tries.
It's fucking painful. That and Noah's begging not to work with New Japan anymore. Like, the fan base is like, please, just stop.
Yeah, because they have to just let him win everything.
We talked comics, we talked movies today, we talked wrestling, and this is going to be my last buy. I want to buy genuine voices in the review community. I want to hear the good, bad, ugly, and your opinions on stuff. I feel like we've become too much Wikipedia reading off Wikipedia, and YouTube employees have told me, if you're always positive or always negative, you'll get more views. And I feel like with the Mr. Beastification of YouTube and social media, and that's not a knock on Mr. Beast, it's just he came up with something amazing and now everyone copies.
Well, that's the trend on everything.
Yeah. I want genuine voices to come back. I just want genuine voices. Like me and the raccoon, we might be fucking idiots, but we're just two pals giving genuine voices. I don't want it. I don't want a world where you're always positive or always negative or defend a corporation that you're not a part of. I want to buy genuine voices in media and social media. There you go. All right. Any last words, Sid? Because we're going to wrap this up.
No, only that I remembered that I can even send you it. I was like, I wonder if I have any more proof. I actually had made a fucking a joke picture before, and I had uploaded it to save it because I thought it was hilarious, of Roman Reigns being the best thing ever in 2014 when they split up, and
Really?
I decided Roman Reigns was my favorite.
I could show it for the YouTube audience. Where did you send it? Facebook?
I sent it on Facebook.
All right,
Don't dox me though; it's not worth it.
I know, dude. Sometimes on stream I'll dox my friends.
Don't dox me.
I'm not doxing you. I'm not doxing you. Oh my God, you're right. This is old school. All right, let's see if I can get this. Will this work? I don't know. I have no idea if this is gonna work, boys. It's over your head, but it's working. All right, there you go.
It? Nice.
Yep. Yeah, you this Photoshop.
OG.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was "Be a Man." It was the Mulan song.
Be a man.
Yeah, he's as swift as a coursing river, as strong as a typhoon.
There you go.
Raging fire, dark side of the moon.
Oh. I'm taking it off the screen right now because you have no idea. Sid, Boom Boom, and a couple of my friends don't want to be doxxed, and they'll send me stuff on Twitch, and sometimes we'll get a couple hundred people at one time watching us, and they're like, oh. It's not as bad as Sam Besser. Sam Besser's, it's not his real name. I doxed him and OBS froze. And it was on the screen for like 30 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, I don't care about that. I live in Yokohama. Dave Koco is short for David Kokotis. But not everyone doesn't fucking roll like me. What's that?
I'm a VTuber.
Yeah. The funny thing is too, like one time on YouTube, someone doxed me. And like it was the worst dox ever. You're like, yeah, Dave Koco is David Kokotis. It's like, yes. I think everyone knew that.
Was the big spoiler that you were Greek?
No, I'm not even Greek. Spoiler: I was adopted by a Greek family. I don't know what I am.
One though.
Maybe that's an ad.
And you like Euros?
I do actually. Even though we had this
wait,
talk
it's
off
wrong.
Thing.
It's Gyros or Gyros.
I don't know. I always say.
I gotta ask.
Dude, here's my thing. My last name is Kokotis.
You say it worse.
And I say gyro.
Yeah, you say the worst version of it.
That, and also there's a plate called Greek macaroni, but no one in Greek calls it Greek macaroni. And I'm like, yeah, give me some of that Greek macaroni, baby. But here's the thing I found out. I don't know what I am, and I might do a 22andMe. I have no idea what I am. But I have a Greek last name.
What if you do a 22andMe, though, and you find out who your dad is, and it's like it's one of the mafia guys that you used to see all the time?
That would make sense. I always told people it was Terry Funk. Rest in peace.
What if you did a 23andMe and it was Terry Funk?
I'd be like, holy shit.
I'm just kidding. Terry Funk never did a 23andMe, I don't think.
Oh, so you have to have... Oh, I guess, yeah, you would have to have his stuff.
Yeah, it has to have other people's DNA. I mean, if Terry Funk has another kid that's definitely his that did it, then that would be one thing. Because it'll find, familial DNA.
Do you think this podcast went too long?
Probably.
He's SidsLight on everything. At SidsLight. I'm at KocoSports on everything. He also has Tales from the Trash Can on YouTube where he talks about horror films. And I have Koco Plays where we archive stuff. We are streaming live almost every single day on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, Twitter.
I'm in the daytime in the U.S. He's in the daytime in Japan.
That's right. Dude, if we can land a fucking huge sponsor, no, it'd be cool. I always talk about this with my sports buds, but we could pull this off. If we get a big sponsor.
I do 14-hour streams and you do 8-hour ones?
Oh, thank you for taking extra hours. I
knew where I was
going to go 12 and 12, but you took one for the team.
No, you can't handle 12 and 12.
I used to be able to. I used to do 14-hour streams, but my ass is too old now.
I would do 14 and you would have to do 10.
But you know how often, if we did this live on Twitch, you know how often people would be like, hey, this is what I said. We used to do these podcasts live on YouTube, and we'd be like, oh, we'll get to the comments in a second, and they'd be like, yeah, that's cool. But now, nowadays, if you don't get to a comment
Even
within 10
then,
seconds,
even then, Boom Boom hated
oh,
comments
Boom
though.
Boom despises comments. We're like, Boom Boom, do you want to do
In Boom Boom's
Twitch? He's like, no.
in Boom Boom's defense, Boom Boom was trying to keep two spastic grunts on topic and
We
fighting
love
for
you,
all
Boom
he
Boom.
could to keep us the fucking paying attention while we went to fucking like right now.
Yeah,
We
because
were buying and selling. We've went on how many tangents?
oh, 100%. Well, the thing is,
And then
we do segments, A, to cut them up to make more content, because that's what YouTube suggested, but B, if we didn't do segments, who knows where the fuck this goes? Could you imagine us
It
doing a
would be
podcast
chaos.
without segments?
It would be chaos.
Just be like, all right.
There would be no breaks or ends in it. Half the topics would never get finished. It would just segue to a new tangent, and then the tangent would keep going. It would be awful.
And
People who
for the
don't
record,
get,
this is
like,
our longest Wrestle AM since we've come to the podcast era.
Is it?
Yeah,
It
we're
was- all
at
it
2
took
hours
was
and
adding
20
Marvel.
minutes.
Yeah, all it took was adding Marvel. Oh, and ranting about the women's wrestling.
Yeah,
We got a lot of time out of that, I bet.
Yeah. If you watched it this far, tweet me at KocoSports45 and we'll become best friends. You can put it on your resume.
Is it at KocoSports 45?
I don't know. Send the number 45 to at KocoSports. It's like a hidden message.
Okay, yeah, you should clarify that.
I'm sorry. Okay,
You,
yeah.
you phrased it in a way that made it sound like you were putting your age at the end of your username.
First off, fucking, hey, listen, I will tell you where I live, and I'll give you my social security number, and I will fucking tell you how tall I am. I will fucking tell you my name,
5'6",
middle name.
by the way.
I am not. I'm 5'11", and
5'6".
but I will
He moved
not
to
tell you my
Japan so that
age.
he would
I'm a
be average
beautiful
height.
young lady.
Isn't the average height for a woman about 5'6"?
You shut your mouth. Anyway, if you're on the YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're anywhere else on the podcast, do it. Give us a heart. Give us a trash can. Give us 5 stars. Give us fucking 3 bananas. I don't know
Show
what
us
the
your
other podcasts are.
Friendship.
Yeah. You know? There you go. All right. I'm gonna go hug my wife and eat some dinner.
I'm gonna go save the city from a hive of villainous scum so disgusting that I can barely speak of it.
He just got
All in the name of OCP.
he just got RoboCop and he's super excited to play it. Maybe RoboCop
This
review next week.
podcast going this long while I have just wanted to leave to go play RoboCop is really the most impressive thing.
Dude, the whole
It's
time.
our longest podcast ever is one where I told you at the start, I can't wait for this to be over so I can go play RoboCop.
All right. If RoboCop's fun, maybe we'll stream it. All right. We love you, dudes. Don't take us too seriously. We're two idiots just having a conversation between friends.
I'm a
And
fucking
feel free to join.
raccoon.
What's that?
I'm a raccoon. Don't take us that serious.
Dude, you're
Don't go ranting in anger about something you heard a raccoon saying within a guy living in Japan. People are
almost
going
got
to
with a
look at you
beard.
like you're crazy.
All right. With that, I am over. Ooh, this is my favorite part. Ready?
It's over.